Good evening and welcome everyone to tonight's official coverage of the Asrnz 2022 Backpain GT3 series, brought to you by Outdoor Effects, the decking specialists. I'm Davo, and of course, as always, I have J-Man beside me. How are you doing, my friend?
Mate, I'm good. Great to be here. One more time for the season here at Spa, Davo. Looking forward to this one, buddy.
Absolutely, and it's a biggie. It's a worthy finale to the end of the season and the Enduro season. We are at Spa for round 10, the final round, and it is a 2-hour race, J-Man. This is a big race.
2 hours, mate. 2 minimum required pit stops, so there's a CPS twice for these boys tonight, and a real mixed bag on the weather. The round was scheduled for what they quoted as random. I'm not sure what random is, but I guess we're going to find out over the next 2 hours.
Well, if it's anything like you and me, anything could happen. So,
well, it's actually 2.5, because we're about to embark on a 30-minute qualifying session. This new format that we ran in the Enduros, Davo. What's your thoughts? Did you think it spiced up the series?
Well, for sure. I think, especially with the quality of tyres that they've had for the rounds and the long qualifying sessions, definitely changed things up a little bit. And man, haven't we seen some crazy qualifying sessions? They're like little mini races, mate. They ramp up right to the end, and definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, photo finishes at Monza the week before. I was quite surprised at that one there, Davo. Just the nature of the track and the conditions. The boys had some pretty optimum conditions out there at Monza, and you know, you and I remember, going back 7 days and watching those cars come across the line, and after that amount of time to be that close was pretty impressive stuff. As we've come to expect that now. Even with the sprint races, it's kind of gets down to the last 7 minutes, and the boys sort of bunch back up. Really cool scenarios have played out in this, and just having come off a driver briefing with these guys and just briefed them about what they're about to embark on now, which is the qualifying, this 30-minute open session that we just spoke about, and I guess a couple of the little intricacies that these guys have got to deal with in these sessions.
For sure,
rolled out on what was a greasy track, already gone to green at 30 degrees ambient 34 track, is that they all know now 10 rounds in, and many know as well through the longevity of them being here, is if they have an incident or haven't fueled the car right or are on the wrong tyre, they must drive the car back to the pit lane.
Absolutely critical.
I guess so. The message is if you escape back to pits, as I think we saw Slambo do at Bathurst after a big hit in the wall up the top of the mountain.
He did.
That's your qualifying over.
And relegated to the position that he was left in, which he hadn't really got a banker in yet, so it was well down the field there. That particular time, J-Man. So
it might have been about P12 or P13 or something. So
Absolutely.
It's got a little buffer there.
For sure. As the boys get out into qualifying here at Spa, round 10, the big finale, J-Man, 2 hours, half an hour qualifying session. We should just have a quick look at these points. We got the overall points at the moment. Some pretty close stuff at the top there, but
I'm just waiting for that to catch back up for me, mate, so I can see what we've got. Sorry, it might be my end. Sorry, apologies, my end, as you were. Mark Mudgeway at the top, 445, Davo, plays John McDonald on 430, so 15 points the difference at the top end of town. This is for your overall. So some on a double point rounds calculation, somewhere around 8 positions would need it to be had between those two drivers there, Davo. Shane Fotodo, not that far back, as I just bring up my own graphic so that my poor old eyes can actually work with you here, pal. On 385. very much still in the battle there for third position.
For sure.
With Dave Zero on 366, Jordan Moss on 354, Sam Carson 346. So you would expect that P4, 5 and 6 still in the hunt to try and better the next guy there. Brad Roberts on 321, and then in the overall, that brings us back down to the super successful in the Pro-Am category, Steve Melling on 313 points. Just done a fantastic job all year over Chris Hingston, who we'll talk a little bit about in the next graphic. Rusty Shackelford, 269. Vaughan Martin, 268. Steve Wilton, 266. Now, that's a number that entertains me, Davo, because that is what you're actually effectively listening to is for second, third and fourth in the Pro-Am Championship, and that is by no means done, given there's only 1 to 2 points between all three of those guys.
That's
right. So that's a super entertaining battle, which we'll keep an eye on all through the night. Adam Falconer, P13, Alad Poole, 261, Ethan Cale, 245, Damien Jarkus Jones unfortunately couldn't be here because he was well in the hunt with the next graphic I'm going to speak about with Steve O'Melling for the Pro-Am Enduro title. But Ray Haggis, 232, Lucas Saar, 231, Kenny Simpson, 225, back to Brennan Rolfe, the first of the AMs on 207, rounds out your 20. So super stellar job this season from Brennan Rolfe. Often the AMs don't get as much hit time as the big boys up in the pro class. But he
smashed it out at Monza.
This guy, P17. Okay, so top 20 for an AM, and this guy has made every round this season. So kudos to Brennan Rolfe for really digging deep this season. I think this is a great season for him. So, and a lot of big names behind these guys, new entrants, the likes of Jake McCullough and Aztec and Josh Vediger and stuff.
Absolutely.
So,
that sort of joined in for the end of the season for the endurance series, isn't that right, J-Man? Yep.
100%. So, really right throughout the field. This field, I think we've seen 38 drivers into the series this season. In a capacity to score points. So really, really impressive. As we see, the next graphic is up,
which just shows the Pro-Am standings. They're the top 10 in the Pro-Am there, J-Man, and like you mentioned, Steve Melling on the top of that list.
Yeah, job is really done there for Steve-O in the overall. I think there's really two guys we can talk about tonight that have done the job already, which really does accentuate how good their season's been. And Steve Melling is one of them. Consistently in there.
Sure.
And Brendan Rolfe, when I pick on the M class there, he's done a great job. That job is done. Those guys are basically, it's a formality now. The hands on the trophy.
It is. But the fight in the Pro-Ams there, as you can clearly see in that graphic, is the Rusty Shackelford, Vaughan Martin,
Steve Wilton.
Steve Wilton, yes, absolutely. Like you mentioned earlier, a couple of points between each of them, and that will go down, no doubt, to the wire, J-Man. So it'll be interesting to watch that battle as well. So we've got a few things to keep an eye on here. So just look, I think we've got one, which would be, let's see if I've got it.
You got an Enduro graphic
I've got an Enduro one here. Here we go.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one too. So Chris Hingston has done a very impressive job of these Enduros. Currently on 175, plays Shane Fodder on 156. Now, the interesting part of that graphic for me, Davo, is the fact that Paul Ricard, first place with the pole. Bathurst, second place. Monza, due to a late race control discrepancy with the 27 car, gains a podium there. So he's gone 1, 2, 3 to lead the series. Shane Fodder, 8, 3, 4. Very consistent, but just not quite there. And then John McDonald, if you remember back to Monza, grabbed that great pole position, that exceptional lap. So he's gone 4, 13, 5. So that's your top three in there. Effectively, you could say that you know, second and third's not done. I would think that, you know, Chris Hingston has grabbed this pro title for the Enduros there.
Oh, without a doubt, J-Man.
Yeah, and then when I look a little bit further down the field, and without disrespecting any guys in between them, the likes of Mark Mudgway, Sam Carson and co, Jakey,
Yep.
when I go back down to Steve Melling, 96 points played Jarks on 90. So had Jarks turned up here tonight, it was game on for that coveted top spot for the Enduro title here in the Pro-Am category.
Oh, yep.
However, yeah, Rusty Shackelford.
Rusty's got to take that.
He's right there. He's you know, like at the end of the day, he's still there. So Steve's still got a job to do if he wants to clean sweep the Pro-Am class this season. He's still got work to do tonight.
Yep.
And Bear Grylls
and looking at those numbers, J-Man, it's well doable.
It is well doable. Bear Grylls for the AM class in the Enduro series just done a great job. Fronted up, come back off of injury and rehabilitation to do a great job at the back end of the season. Currently on 78 points. And his nearest rival was Brendan Rolfe on 64. So you would expect that is Bear Grylls out there tonight? Can I see him?
Yes.
Yes, he's there. So Bear Grylls likely to take that Enduro mantle for the AM class as well, I would think.
And he also ran a really good race last week at Monza. So both of those boys pushing hard right at the end of the year.
Yeah, only 4 points the marker between Brendan Rolfe and Bob Laycock for second and third. So that second and third spot for AM class podium on the Enduro title isn't done yet either. So plenty to play for. Heaps to
play for. As like I said, we're going to have plenty to look at throughout the race as we try and keep up with all of those positions. Boys have been out on track for
10 minutes into this. Yeah, 10 minutes into the quali. What's going on?
What is going on, Shane Faraday? Provisional pole. 2:20.4, good time. I saw
on a green track. Yes.
On a green track, I saw the McDonald car with the time very similar to that in pre-race practice. Mudgy, the sister car, not far behind, and Hingston, the man to watch in this Enduro tonight, J-Man.
Yeah, looking to take this title. I think, you know, he'll be focused. He'll be well aware of the points. Big shout out too during the week as well, coming off of the Monza round to Jordan Moss. Also Dave Zero for all his work throughout the season, and Daniel is also for the work that goes on and behind the scenes to the series. But yeah, Jordan Moss for stepping up with Dave Zero and helping us out with those points. He's done a great job. So really appreciate all the work that everybody does here. But Chris Hingston out there percolating. There's not a lot. I see McDonald and Mudgway on exactly the same time. 2:20.805. So these are the two overall title contenders. The tone has been set, Dave.
Teammates. And you think those cars have got the same set in them, maybe?
You betcha. You betcha. Man,
dear, look at those times.
I've got to grab a screenshot of that.
Yeah, so, and just tucked in behind that is Jake McKellar, currently in provisional 5th. And what have we got? We've got 23 cars on track now as well, J-Man. Not a bad turnout for tonight. We know we've got a few boys off for work commitments and real life stuff. So Josh Vedigar's got the car in 6th, back in the pits. Rusty Shackford in 7th with a 21.6, which is a little over a second off Shane's 20.427, J-Man.
Yeah, I still think it's gonna be a 19.8. These guys will get this track in a bit better nick by the end of the session, so I think it's going to be a 19.8 that does the business.
Yeah.
And we're a fair way off of that. But
now, obviously too, long race tonight. Will these guys be maybe conserving rubber at all in tyre sets in qualifying, do you think?
Yeah, a little bit. I think some guys will, and I know there'll be multiple pit strategies set due to weather conditions, but I think based on what I saw out of the practice session, Davo,
Yep.
I felt like there was a lot less action in the official practice tonight, that 40-minute session, which actually did start out wet. So where the guys actually went out and dialed in a wet tyre,
yep.
I guess the technical operators would have gone and done that. But yeah, I think tyres could be an issue tonight because I have been reading the chat log during the week, and sounds like guys, even after as early as the 20-30 minute mark, weren't that happy with the graining on the tyres. So this new update, and then obviously we had another 14 gig update yesterday or the day before.
Yes,
I think,
that's right. That's right.
Obviously a couple of little hotfix tweaks, but I think the major thing was around that 1.9 update around tyre pressures. A little bit of talk I've heard around is some drivers still opting to pump the tyre up to that 27.5 PSI and feeling comfortable, whereas the literature says that 26 to 27 still yields a better grip. So I don't know. The guys are still feeling these things out only 2 weeks in.
For sure.
7 days into effectively an update.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, 2 hours. These guys will put this up to the test, I'm sure.
Without a doubt, mate. And what a place to test it out. But Spa, very fast, flowy.
Oh, we love it.
A little unforgiving, this place. Walls aren't too far off the track. And you got a little bit of grass, usually, on most of it. And then it's straight into the wall, so...
Shane Fotodo just gone a little bit quicker on a 2:20.2. Allard Poole's got nearly a second up his sleeve, which would bring him to a 2:20.7, and that would easily place him in third position right now. If he can finish off this final chicane, this will see him yield a second position. He's actually 1.2 seconds up. 1.1.
Well up there for Allard Poole. And clearly
that yields him
into
a
the
third.
top three. Yeah, nice work from Allard there. That Merc looks wound up. I did see it have a little bit of a spin in pre-race practice, but it looked pretty tidy. It was pointing in the right direction, I tell you.
Finding the limits. I remember watching Craig Lowndes in the early days, and he would always go out and find the limits in a practice session and then come good in the race. So Shane Fotodo in the lane comes in. This is good practice for these pit stops. A little bit of a tricky pit entry here, and a long pit exit.
It is a little bit dicky. It is. And a very long pit exit.
Which leads me to something I wanted to talk to you about, Davo, in this session here as we're watching these guys cycle up, and we'll bring some more numbers to you shortly. But having a look on the lap stats board during the week, one thing that really stuck out to me was the fact that obviously in the lap stats board we see a total laps completed versus official laps. So that basically gives an indication. Let's say you've done 70 laps, but it only recorded 22 of them. So that is the amount of laps that you've gone and cut. So tonight, what that tells me is the reality of drive-throughs through track limits is probably the highest we've seen all season, and it's because of the likes of Asrnz, and you know,
and the like, look, they're track.
And then the chicane at the end of the Kimmel Straight when the guys outbrake themselves and run that. It's probably a little less likely there because they can scrub off a lot of speed. But
there's definitely a couple of spots there. It just begs you to get out over the ripple strip, J-Man. So easily done, even in a GT3 car. So these guys will be working hard just to keep it within the track limits tonight, is what you're saying there, mate.
I think so. I think definitely. I think definitely it's going to be a challenge. Every section where they're trying to gain time is another section that they're potentially going to get a cut.
Allard Poole looks like he might just sneak up into second here, J-Man. Falconer's starting to find some pace also in the McLaren. He's up quite a healthy amount of tenths, almost a second there, J-Man, which would sort of poke him up into about 7th, I would suspect. John McDonald also half a second up on his top. Just watch the end of Falconer's lap here.
Yeah, so once again, they've got to be really careful when they come down through there into Blanchard, what is effectively Blanchamont before the final bus stop chicane.
Yeah. Easily the big left-hander there at the top of the hill.
Where does that post
McDonald? Yeah, so that put Falconer in 9th.
McDonald's got about 5.5 tenths here.
This could put him in 2nd here. Yep.
Yeah, it does.
So nice work from McDonald.
Mudgie's in the lane, pulled it in, put it on the jacks. McDonald's going to press on for another one.
Jordan Moss up on his time. Probably enough to get into... Oh, he's still down the bottom section of the track, down in the valley.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Jordan Moss's driving earlier on, and this very quick driver. I just really liked how smooth he was, and they were in trying conditions when I was watching him, and I just thought that the car looked very, very well behaved. He was very conservative on the entry, but good through the middle of the corner and on the exit. So as we see him here coming into Blanchamont around about 7 tenths up, has a little lift in there, still carries that further through, 7.5 tenths up.
That'll get him in the 20s, so that will put him around Jake McKellar, 6.76 position there on his current time. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, just behind Jake McKellar on a 21.055.
Yeah, nice work.
I think he lost a little bit on the bus stop chicane. He just turned it a little bit early, but I think he's got a little bit more to offer. Now that 19.8 that I spoke of is still 4 tenths away, so maybe we won't get there because what is the track conditions?
Falconer's, I think he just lost it there a little bit too on that chicane. He was well up. He would have been up into the probably 6th position there. He's just popped up a couple. But yeah, a little over brake. It's so easy to do, isn't it? Into that final chicane there, J-Man. Just as you dip it in, it gets a little bit taily and very hard to recover it, you know, nicely and keep the momentum. Wilton up a second on his time. That would put him around 11th.
So Steve Wilton. So remember that we know that Steve Wilton's looking forward to Rusty. He's looking at Vaughan Martin. He's
that's roughly where he's going to end up if he just gets that tidy. He's 1.2 up. This could just put him Sam Castle, Rusty Shackelford territory. Bam. 11.
Yeah, it's where he needs to be.
Absolutely, J-Man.
John McDonald out. He's gone out for another go, so he's been into the pits. Shane Fodado's back out there on track as well. He's a 10th up on his time, looking for a 10.5. So as this winds down to the final 7 minutes of this 30-minute qualifying, the track is improving slightly. What are our track conditions out there at the moment?
Still green, mate. But
rain coming in 30. Well, fortunately, these guys are going to put these cars away in 7 minutes, and they won't be back out here this Saturday. Next session they will roll out at 3 o'clock, I believe, on Sunday afternoon. Yeah. So that rain shower heading towards them won't phase them at all. Although, however, I can tell you,
there's always a however.
Yeah, there's a number of guys out there that I know will be looking at that graphic and knowing that this weekend could be providing a mixed bag.
Yeah, well, anything could happen, J-Man. Anything could happen. Just looking. Sam Carson coming across the line there into third position, J-Man.
Yeah, great lap on a 20.5.
Unbelievable. Mudgeway also up on his time down the bottom of the hill there. Bit sideways.
Yeah, he's still carrying a couple of tenths. He's looking pretty.
Couple of tenths won't cut it. He's going to have to get it up the hill.
Yeah, so Mudgey carrying 30 kilos tonight. So we've obviously got, I'll just bring up that graphic. So we've obviously got Mudgey with 30. We've got Josh Vertiger with 25. And we've got Chris Hingston with 20 kilos. So that is your weight bearers tonight.
So Josh Vertigo with the time he's up at the moment might just sneak him up into 8th.
Oh, Mudgey with a great braking manoeuvre into the final corner. He's going to
carry. He's up.
He's going to carry a couple of tenths, maybe 3, 2.5.
No, 4th.
4th. That puts him closer to John Boy because we know the job Mudgey's got to do tonight. He's just got to keep it within, I think, around 8 places of John McDonald. Welcome to the stream once again, Daniel. We have loved your attendance this season, mate, and yeah, just really enjoyed watching your brother out there racing. Where is Dave Zero? He was further up the field on a 21.7. The field's moved on.
Dave Zero, 14th position.
Yeah, so we'd expect him to maybe a little bit of a late improvement, hopefully, for Dave.
Yeah, he's probably got a couple of laps in it. Track has turned to fast, J-Man, so maybe good timing for Dave Zero here. Shane Fuddido back out and well up on his time. He wants to stamp his authority on this.
Well, he wants me to be right with that 2:19.8, right?
Yep. Vertiger also up, so now it starts. It's on.
Yeah, it is, and it always comes down to this, doesn't it, Davo?
Oh, yeah. Well, hasn't it what all season? Right from shakedown, J-Man. It's been fantastic.
Dane be looking for a very, very clean last final sector. Very deep.
Gets out of there nicely, mate. Just look how smooth.
It's not going to be a 19.8, but it will be 19, I think.
20.0. Wow.
What has Chris Hingston got? He's got 3 tenths as he comes down towards Blanchimont right now. He's around 3.5, 4 tenths up. Uses every lap.
Everything. Can he pull this thing up? Get it in neat. So hard to do, J-Man.
Very great job on the way. Carrying nearly 5 tenths, 4.5 tenths.
Nice momentum, 4 tenths. What's this? Second position. Beautiful.
That's a great job. So remember, Chris has got one hand on this Enduro trophy, if not 2.
For sure.
John McDonald on the improve again, as well as he rounds the first corner. So you look to carry that momentum throughout the lap. Mark Mudgeway sitting just right in behind John McDonald down on 20.545. So Mudgey on the improve again. Sam Carson at the expense of Mark Mudgeway there gets dropped back to P5. Aled Pool, P6.
And anyone that goes over for the next about 10 seconds will make another lap if they're quick enough after this one. So
yeah, I think there'll be plenty of drivers that have maybe got this timing right and will get that last one. We've seen how critical that is throughout the season.
We have.
To be on track at the right time.
Temperatures are good. Track's gone fast.
Yeah, the track has gone fast, so look for some improvements here. John Boy is 2 tenths up, which would see him provisionally get on the front row. 2.3, yeah, would see him get on the front row.
Yeah.
So he'll be working hard this lap behind there, looking for accuracy there.
For sure, and now Hingston's still on track himself. And
Dave Zero
in third. Yeah.
Gets a track cut that lap, so that'll be Dave Zero's qualifying done.
Yeah.
That will be as far as he goes up. What a beautiful lap.
Fantastic. Kingston still out on track, but well done. Farado out on track and up on his time. Bam, there's the 19, J-Man. 19.912. Beautiful.
Is there a little bit more in it? Has he got something left?
Dave Zero still on track. John McDonald on track. Both of them up on their times.
Yeah, Dave Zero's had a cut, so his night's done as far as qualifying. Yep. There'll be no more time left, but John needs a beautiful final chicane to get this job done.
And if he gets, he's still got another lap in it.
He has. He's got 56 seconds to get over. I don't think Dave's going to get... This is going to comfortably get John Boy on the front row.
Oh, easily.
Yep. Oh, no, it does. Oh, yes, it does. 20.1. Yes. Where is Mark Madry? Mark Madry's back into P5.
P5 still on track, not showing up on my data at the... oh, yes, he's 3
he just improved.
Yep, so that, given his current time, that could have been a 90. Where is he now? There he is. That's first turn, so he's just got across the line in time.
Yeah, Shano's given it away, but I can tell you, Allard Pool's 3 tenths up, Davo, so...
Yep.
Mark Madry actually needs a slightly better lap this lap. He's got a half a tenth up his sleeve as he comes up the Kimmel straight. Heading towards the Les Coombs into Malmedy.
Adam Faulkner also up by a fair chunk, nearly half a second, which would put him in probably about 6th position, so nice work. Also, Jake McKellar up on his time. And Robinson up on his time.
Hingston looking to take that front row off of our birthday boy, John McDonald. So
he's 1/10, and that's all he needs to do it.
That is all he needs. He probably needs a 1/10 and a half.
But he's up to 2 on my data now, J-Man. He's got 2 tenths up his sleeve. Dave Zero has 2 tenths up his sleeve. It's all happening.
Dave managed to get another lap in. Hingston
Alan Poole, 4 tenths up, J-Man, coming around the final corner. He's 5. This will put him in the 19. What's this Merc?
Yeah, and also watch that. Second position, but also watch Dave Zero. He's got 4 tenths up his sleeve. He's looking to go for the top spot. 5 tenths. He is right on the bubble of taking pole here on the final round of the season here.
It's all happening. Hingston up. 3 tenths. That'll give him a 19. Here he goes. Out of the final. Tidy stuff, J-Man. Has he lost it there?
He did. He did. Dave Zero's carrying this half a second that he's carried for the last sector and a half right through. He's building on this lap. Has Shane pulled it in just a touch too early? Great qualifying there. Not the best. You definitely, where's that seeing you? 20,
half a second, mate, this is big. If he can hold that much time, this is an 18.
Well, he's 9 tenths.
This is massive.
It's done. It's done. He didn't get over the line, did he? He didn't get over the line in time.
A 19.8.
He did get over the line. Well done. A 19.8. There you go, Dave Zero. Congratulations.
Wow.
Wicked. So that knocks Shane Farado into P2. Still on the front row. Allard Poole in P3 on a 20.0. John McDonald on a 20.1. Our birthday boy. Second row. Chris Hingston P5. Josh Vertiger P6 on a 20.2. So that's Mark Mudgeway 20.3 in P7. Sam Carson 20.5 P8. Jordan Moss 20.6. Brad Robinson rounds out the 10 on a 20.6.
Wow.
You actually had to go all the way out to P14 to break the second barrier, which was Steve Wilton. So well done there to Dave Zero on just a fantastic lap. We saw him late in the pieces back as far back as 14th, and he come back and delivered.
And it was well late in the qualifying, and he was still a long way down the field. So, Yeah, excellent job from Dave Zero there, J-Man, to pull that back from just... we just didn't see it coming, and we've seen it before from Dave as well. Just pulls it out of the hat, mate. No doubt about him.
Yeah, so Bear Grylls top qualifier for the AM class. Lockie, and then B-Dog there, so that fight's still on there. Who are we looking at here? I'm just looking for the first of our Pro-Am qualifiers, and it could very much be Rusty Shackelford, I believe, and he is battling it out, remembering on the Enduro series, trying to chase down Steve O'Melling for the Enduro title.
That's
Now,
right.
Steve O's
That's
down
right.
in P18, so he's got the better part of 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6 or 7 positions between him and Steve.
That's what he needs. That's what he needs.
He does. He knows he's done half the job already. So, yeah, great qualifying in what was reasonable conditions at the back end. So maybe I just want to have a look there. So my graphic hasn't changed on the game, and my game is showing that. So Dave Zero potentially did not get that lap done. He was P6. He didn't get across the line in time, Davo.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
Yep.
J-Man.
I thought he did. I thought he did, but no.
There you go.
Yeah, you called it. It was a 19.8, but it was just.
It was a 19.8, but it was too late.
Yeah.
So yeah, gone overtime.
He'll be gutted. There was. I think there was maybe 100 meters in it.
Yeah, definitely very close there, J-Man.
Yeah. Hey, look, this is probably one of the only opportunities I'm going to get to refill the refreshments. So I'm just going to go and grab one right now, buddy.
You do that. Yes, we see the boys starting to get the cars out on grid. We've only got about 45 seconds on the session countdown before we go downhill start line here at Spa. The timing line is back up on the top of the hill just as you come out of the chicane, but they do start this rolling formation lap downhill here, and I think this is where they will start the race. So yeah, lucky it's not a standing
start. This is the control line, yeah.
They'd all need to map a handbrake to deal with it. Anyway, time ticks down. The boys just about to roll off the grid.
Yeah, so as they embark on this, at a rapid pace as a 2:19, and you could expect that this would be the better part of around 2.5-3 minutes to get this formation lap done. What are we dealing with conditions wise out there? I actually haven't even bothered to look. So
green track. Green track. Yes, a little bit cooler air temperature.
Okay.
Today, but the track is toasty with a 39-degree track temp. J-Man.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So what can we tell the viewers? It's effectively 3 o'clock. The boys, if they've paid attention before they clicked into race, they would have seen that it is, I believe they see that graphic, it is ×2 scaled. Yeah, they do. So it's ×2 scaled. So effective race finish tonight here will be 6 o'clock at Spa. And yeah, with varying weather conditions. Obviously the track's green. There's a little bit of cloud behind the sun. Or in front of the sun, sorry. I don't know how you get cloud behind the sun. But yeah, so yeah, expect, with ×2, was already a 2-hour race. Yeah, anybody's guess. These guys started the weekend with 6 sets of tyres. We know they would have used at least 1 set in that open practice session. Potentially would have used 2 sets in the qualifying. Some guys I heard at Monza used 3.
Yes, absolutely. Again, and we reiterate the longer race tonight, J-Man.
2 hours, mate.
Tyres will be an issue. So, yeah, definitely worthy of the conversation over the race, and I'm sure we'll see some of these boys through the field struggling with, just getting maybe a little bit soggy on the tyres, I think, towards the end of their stints. Mistakes will be made.
Yep, and like I mentioned earlier in the qualifying session, you know, the reality at the likes of Asrnz and certainly Francorchamps, and I'm not sure if I got my pronunciation right, but certainly,
probably not.
Yeah, the corner that effectively, I think it is the speaker's corner. Okay, so it's a left-hander starting to come down the hill, and then the double gorge. I think those ones there definitely key places that you know, I guess the critical places that these guys are going to get cuts is the high pace stuff like Asrnz
for sure.
where they don't have time to scrub off that speed, and the race in-game director tell them that they had no time gained. You know, there's a number of places on the circuit where definitely can't recover that cut, and you know, 4 or 5 in, it's a hell of a long pit lane for an unscheduled stop.
Absolutely. So yes, they will be very conscious of that, won't they, mate? But still being conscious of it, and you know, like, just stuff happens, doesn't it, mate? And you do a little bit of a battle, and you're just a bit of a side by side, or give someone some room, and you're out there all of a sudden. And here we go, guys. These are all the things these guys are up against tonight as they start to get into formation here, J-Man, for the final round, round 10.
Yeah, so just a revised congratulations there to Shane Fodderdo. I was obviously with the graphic immediately told us that Dave Zero was on pole, so we will give those congratulations to Shane Fodderdo in the 43 10 block tribute Audi. As you were, Davo, as they come into La Source, 2 abreast.
Yeah, in formation nicely. They've got plenty of straight road to sort this out, but a tricky little hairpin as they all get round here nicely. Shane will pull it up a little bit, let everybody catch up, but this is round 10. Asrnz 2023 Backpain GT3 Series J-Man. Final round, plenty to play for all the way through the field as they start to roll down the hill here towards Asrnz. It's anticipation as the green light drops, and it's flat chat from that pace at that time. And look at them pan through there. Tricky part of the track at full speed. They've probably got a little bit of a less pace than they would in normal race pace there, but look at them pan out up the hill here, J-Man.
Up the Kimmel Straight, Shane with a nice breakaway off the start. He got a great start procedure. Alan Poole's gone with him. John McDonald just covering the inside down into the chicane after the Kimmel Straight there to hold that P3. Looking back, everything looks pretty tidy. I haven't seen any drama.
Does look pretty tidy. A couple of bit of side by side here. Steve Wilton, Jake McKellar, Adam Faulkner, Vaughan Martin. It's all going on. There's a little bit of to and fro.
Yeah, there is. Jake McKellar quite wide on the entry down the hill there, but I think he'll manage to hold on to that as we just see the field over the next lap and a half. Going to take a little bit to settle out, as is our lap track.
Well, one that's settled in already is Josh Rediger in 5th position, right in behind Chris Hingston, and all over Hingston, looking for the path already.
Yeah, and right when he was doing that, McDonald was attacking Alan
Poole there as well, yeah.
He doesn't want Shane to get away.
Definitely not. Oh, again. See that. That's Josh Vediger out wide. I think that's Dave Zero trying to tuck in and take advantage of that. Then we got Mudgeway.
Yeah, you got Mudgeway after
Sam
that.
Carson,
Sam
Brad
Carson,
Robertson.
Brad Robertson. Yeah, for sure. They're all in there.
Up the hill. Long run up the hill here.
Josh got a lot of pace by the look of it. Dave Zero looking around the outside of Blanchimon here. It's a long way around there. He would have got a track cut being that far out, and he gets it incredibly sideways.
Very sideways. And again, we talked about this. Stuff happens.
It does.
And,
it does.
yeah, just the battle that he wanted to have with Josh there. Josh didn't allow that line. Big sideways on the Asrnz. Well caught, actually, for J-Man there. That could have ended into his really easy with a less experienced driver, I suspect. So,
yeah, big shout out too. I'm just going to shout this out. Doesn't often get a mention, but Bob Laycock. He was late to the party, but he still made it there. He's in P23, and I can tell you now, there's been an incident with Brendan Rolfe and Bear Grylls at La Source, which is turn 1, effectively heading before they head down to Arouge. So a bit of a rotation there between Bear Grylls and...
See if the cameras can pick up on that. It looks like they've got that one. Let's have a look at that. Just quickly, it's Brendan. It's not Brendan, actually. It's Lachlan Andrews in front, is it? Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah, and see if the camera guys can catch up on the John McDonald 2x2. Doesn't get the job done, but he went side by side with Allard Poole through 3 corners. Allard actually winning the battle, but you would have expected John would have nearly had that done. But it's status quo up the front for P2 and 3 with Hingston watching brief.
Nice work. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate, a little bit of a tippity tap into one there with Bear Grylls, Brendan Rolfe and Lachlan Andrews not really involved, but yeah, just right amongst that situation there as these top guys start to really knuckle down. It's a very flowy track Spa, these guys. I wouldn't have thought would get away from each other too much. Is that Dave Zero around the outside of Josh Vediger?
Wow.
Let's have another look at that.
Yeah, let's have another peek at that. That's a great move.
Okay, so he's already been around Josh Vediger, Dave Zero, and he's looking for Hingston, but Josh, he's meeting the sandwich now. Zero, as Josh goes around the outside, onto the inside. Dave Zero prevails. Nice work from Zero, defending that.
Beautiful, beautiful piece of driving. And he's now eyeing up. John McDonald's he's had a couple of attacks at Allard Poole as well. Keep you up to date with what we spoke about earlier with the battle between Steve Wilton and Rusty Shackelford and Vaughan Martin. Now they are 10, 11, 12. Remembering that is for that second or third in that Pro-Am title for the Enduro series.
Right,
and Farmer is leading the way there, and that as he has a huge moment through Arouge, you can guarantee, as does Rusty Shackelford, both of them straight lined it through there. Yeah, so that battle's going on as McDonald still looking at this Allard Poole car.
Just trying to put pressure on the back quarter of that Mercedes. That Mercedes is strong around here. Got the grunt down the straight. And look at him just power off the corner there in that thing.
Yeah, he has, and I'll tell you what this is just playing into Shane Forado's hands at the moment, because he has already made a 4.7 second margin over Allard Poole. So this is 100% playing into Shane's hands. I mentioned earlier that corner there, that's the Bruxelles. That's the corner that they're likely going to get a track cut, as you saw how far out.
And here as well.
Yep. As they come through the double gauche here, they will definitely, if they run it out too wide there, they'll definitely get a cut. As Dave Zero's looking at sizing up a move on Hingston down the inside.
Oh, there's a little bit of way too deep.
And Dave Zero gets it wrong. And he manages to carry on. He's going to lose a lot of positions, but yeah, just ran out of space there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Some pretty intense stuff in the opening minutes. the opening 7 minutes of this 2-hour Enduro really just shows you the intent of these drivers. You know, at this point they're kind of going at it like a sprint race. Whereas we know that these things can come to you a little bit later on. He did get a good run off of there, and
just unfortunate.
As they approach the apex, there's certainly the margin dissipated.
For sure. Not really the call for it either, J-Man. That one.
Yeah.
So
they've bottlenecked the chicane.
They have. Look at the bunch of cars there. Right?
Yep.
Oh, Budgie. Up around the side of Hickson on the outside.
Gets to the outside at La Source.
And gets it done.
Beautiful.
Carlson just shakes his head and goes, oh, I need to be amongst that. But look at what's going on. Dave Zero, Ford Martin. We've got Jake McKenna, Rusty Shackle. It's all going on.
It is all going on, for sure.
Steve Wilton, Brad Robbins. What?
Mark Ridgway, who's that? He's up the inside of there now.
That's
Hingston.
That's Hingston.
So Hingston obviously got to run back down the Kemmel Straight, and they're going side by side.
Oh, Hingston very sideways to keep the inside line there. Is he going to get up beside him? Is he going to take it with him? He's on the right side of the track, Joe, man.
Yeah, look, that BMW just had the optimum outside line there, and I tell you what, opening 8-9 minutes, this thing is going to be an absolute pressure cooker.
Go up to the field. Look, Vaughan Martin in 10th, looking at the back of Dave Zero's car, out of the helmet, out of the helmet of Dave Zero. Brad Robinson.
This is a battle again for Pro-Am Enduro titles, so Vaughan doing a great job here. He's well in the hunt.
Oh, Hingston, what happened there?
I didn't quite see that.
Go back. Hingston behind Mudgeway. Down the hill, in the valley. I think Mudgeway might have had a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, so Mudgey had a slide at the double Goucher, and then, Hingston caught him up, got the run out of there, and then just had to avoid him. He just came in with too much pace. Recovered really, really well. He
did actually ducked in right in behind, jumped in front of Dave Zero, I think it was. And
Dave Zero's in the thick of it.
And look at that battle pack. Look at it. And after 10 minutes, that is just epic. That is like lap 1 stuff, mate.
Steve Wilton's out. He's gotten out of it. Steve Wilton into the lane.
It's just like, no.
He's had enough.
Enough of this. Zero, looking for a move on Martin again. McKellar. Oh, is that McKellar in the wall?
Oh, and it looks like Rusty Shackelford just up the road in front of him, so something's happened.
So
we've got
a 30 on that. It just comes through the chicane here.
Oh, so there's a little touch coming out of the final chicane.
Not a lot.
As they come down to La Source, what happens?
Shackelford car there. Oh, moved across.
Yeah, he moved. Oh, that would have damaged that.
Oh, that's a hard hit, J-Man. I doubt he'd get that thing back on the road.
He's going to struggle.
Where is he? I'll see if I can bring him back up again. Where is he? No.
Oh, I don't know that that's a new question, Daniel. I think that's one of those things. So the question for the viewers that maybe not entitled to the chat or are not clear in the chat, the question is, if the Aston is clearly side by side, couldn't Hingston leave space and not go for the apex straight? Well, I mean,
it's not that type of corner either.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's not a new question. It's a great question, and I guess that's one that we'll just have to leave up to those boys to sort out on track. And then if it doesn't get sorted out there, I guess race control gets involved if they need to. But outside of that, it is a good question. Look, interpretation about spatial proximity and awareness is always going to be up for discussion. Yeah.
Yes,
so
nonetheless, we carry on, and luckily the boys didn't lose too much from it. Dave not too far back.
P9, yeah.
Yeah, so really dealt with it well, recovered nicely. Get it back up Mudgeway's car, and that is Brad Robinson right up his clacker with Sam Carsing wanting to come with. And yeah, just look at that little bunch of cars there behind him actually. Got Chris Hingston, Dave Zero and Vaughan Martin. So all these boys in proximity. So Dave Zero in. Okay, so getting out of that battle.
I think this is a smart play from Dave. I think
absolutely get in
Steve
early.
Rickling in the lane.
Melling also in the lane.
So first of their two pit stops done. How's their weather? Weather looking pretty stable at the moment. 30 degrees ambient, 37 degrees track. McDonald still staying in touch with Allard Poole. Shane Potato on the other hand, he's just rounded the exit of the chicane that these guys go on. He has got 4.9 seconds on these boys. What are the lap times? 222.5 for Shane last time round, 222.1 for Allard, 221.7 for John McDonald. So the guys, well, certainly Allard slightly quicker, although John's right on him now. So yeah, a little bit of ebb and flow there. What else can we see?
I think so. I think the Merc just punches out of some of these some particular corners very well, and it's got the punch down the straight. So if he breaks the draft on the BMW, John can't catch him, and the Merc just pulls away from him. So when it's in the twisty stuff, the beam is right there. But just watching that Merc punch out of some of these corners is just next level. Real train engine in that car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great comments there from Invictus. We appreciate.
Always good to see. Sorry to interrupt. Allard Poole just running wide, letting John McDonald pass.
Oh, copy. So that's a positional change for P2. So that battle will rage on because it was clearly a mistake, and Allard had the pace to be there. So man, they're really firing it into Blanchimont now. They must be starting to get the track's gone fast. They've got a bit of grip underneath them now.
Oh yeah, Allard a little bit wide, a little bit of tiny overcorrection, just popped the car out over the whipple strip, pulled it up, John McDonald passed, J-Man.
Good to have you on channel there, Cookie, and great comments, mate. We do appreciate them, and don't forget to click a like for this YouTube stream. It does help us out with our stats and stuff. So yeah, always appreciate you guys' feedback and support. As just looking as well at McDonald's just stretching his legs a little bit there, mate. I think I'll be interested to see that margin's currently 6 seconds up the road to Shane, and now that he's got a bit of fresh air, what he can do with it. Mark Mudgeway under serious attack right now from Brad Robinson as they came up through a Rouge up the Kimmel Straight.
Mate, and Brad Robinson, he had an awesome season, J-Man.
He has. He's looking for an outside move. Can he go the long way round? It is a long way round.
Yeah. It really doesn't work. But, yeah, it just keeps the pressure on Mudgeway now. Mudgeway carrying weight, 30 kilograms. Did you say, J-Man?
Yeah, successful round. The previous round at Monza sees him carry ballast for the last round of the season. So Mudgy with 30 kilos. Shane Fodato, I believe, got the 25, and I believe it was Chris Hingston ended up rounding out with the it was Joshy. Joshy got the 25, and Chris Hingston got promoted to P3 after a late race control decision into P3, so he's got the 20 kilos. So 30 for Mudge. Just looking there, there's obviously that Mudgey doing a great job coming down the hill there just to create a little bit of margin, but I just see you picked up, was that, who are you looking back from there? Is that
the back of Brad Robinson at Carso there?
Yeah.
And yeah, so Mudgey had actually snuck past just before we picked up out of the back of his car on Brad Robinson, and the timing hadn't picked it up yet. And yeah, we just see Carso just thinking, well, I think I might just follow Mudgy. As you see him range up into the tight stuff. J-Man.
Yeah, so Mudgy doing a good job here. We know that it was around, I think, 8 positions, I believe, due to the mess that McDonald had to be up the road from Mudgeway to steal this this overall title for the pro class from Mudgy. So there's only a couple of spots between them at the moment.
Yeah.
But great job from John McDonald to go out there, and you know, he knows the job he's got to do. All he can do is do the best he can in his race. But also Mark Mudgeway as well, such as has been his season. You know, remembering back to the first 2 Enduros where he started from pit lane and won, and he got involved in an incident at the other one and ended up going to the back. And
look, it's been a crazy up and down season for him, but just stuck with it, hasn't he, J-Man? And
he has
really, you know, like it's been such a roller coaster.
Yeah,
and it still just has just enough margin there to bring it home tonight.
But Vaughan Martin right now really just absolutely going on. I didn't really calculate the maths between Vaughan and Steve-O for the overall. Sorry, not for the overall. Steve-O's pretty much, he's already got that done. But the Enduro title, given that Vaughan's in P9 and his nearest rival in that fight is Rusty Shackelford is in P15, and then obviously Steve Wilton, aka Farmers, back down in 21st.
Yep.
He's down there based on the fact that he is one of the first of the three guys that has stopped. He's the second of the guys that have stopped for their first official pit stop. And I do believe, just an update, it looks like we did lose the 111 car of Jake McKellar. That was terminal.
Yeah.
So condolences, Jakey. Yep. That was a hard hit, mate. And
it was a biggie.
Yeah, we'd never like seeing that, mate. So condolences to you, and it's been an absolute pleasure having the previous series champ on track again with us.
Yeah, thanks, Jake, for joining in, mate. But yeah, tough luck tonight with the Lambo in the wall, J-Man. Yeah, that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? Anything can happen.
Yep, so John McDonald just crossed the line there at a 21.490, some 4/10ths quicker than Shane Corrado to bridge that gap back to 5.6 seconds from 6. So long way to go. Still an hour 40 left in this one.
Yeah, long way to go still.
Big race.
Viewers, yes, and just a reminder, we are sponsored by Outdoor Effects, the decking specialist, SJS, ABC Tech.
Yes, yeah, thank you to those guys for their support throughout the season, albeit time and commitment, and obviously financial as well. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It helps the wheels turn here. As we just see, I'm really super impressed with Brad Roberts at the moment, who is just monstering still the back of the Vegemite car.
Yeah, he's really ranged back up on it, hasn't he? Yeah, I think Mudgy driving a fairly conservative race tonight.
Yeah, okay, he's lapping in the low 22s. Just posted the last lap time around 22.0, about 3/10ths quicker than Brad. But you know, at this level,
and do you think he just responded to the Asrnz just a little bit, just like, hey, just back, go back a bit?
Yeah, I think so. He's, I think he's pretty happy sitting there in P5 at the moment, knowing that John's in P2. He's just John's just taken another 10th out of Shane there in that sector. So
yeah, not much to look at up the top other than the data that J-Man is just informing us about as these lap times as McDonald slowly reels in the Audi now. You can just see Shane just out and across the start, and in the background you can see John McDonald's car. So these guys aren't that far apart, and Alan Poole also nice and tucked in, so that top three are close.
Yeah, so once again, Shane across the line with a 21.8, John across the line with a 21.6. So just chipping away just ever so slightly, and if that trend keeps going, it bodes well, you know, in another half an hour, 40 minutes time.
For sure. Now, remembering, we've got a couple of guys that have pitted. Steve Melling has pitted. Steve Wilton has also pitted, and Dave Zero has pitted. So that's, if they see him down the bottom of the field there at the back, that is why. But yeah, probably good pit stops from all. As we just see Dave Zero actually just ranging up at the back. I think that is the Lexus of a B-Dog.
Yep.
Again,
so he's going to go the long way around through Francorchamps.
Oh, just gets it done just before J-Man.
Yes. Yeah, great job there from Dave Zero.
And the pace in that Aston, I think B-Dog might have just got out of that a little bit. Didn't want to get involved. But yeah, nice work from Zero, making it happen on the side. Much away, Brad Robinson, still hot battle, J-Man.
Yeah, that's not going away anytime soon. Those boys
No.
and you know, these are the nights for the likes of Mark Mudgway and certainly Brad Robertson that you turn up for, when you can go out and measure yourself against, you know, Brad's effectively measuring himself against the championship leader.
For sure. And just new to the Pro Series, Brad Robinson.
Yeah, and Josh Vedica, not that far up the road.
No, not at all.
You know, when we say the name Josh Vedica, it always comes with, you know, with great esteem, because of, you know, his accolades here, especially at Asrnz over a long period of time, is anything that has been available to win, he has won at some point. And we know that his recent successes and endeavours that he's done in the sim racing lately have been pretty special as well. So for those guys to have the 99 car just up in front of them, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, fantastic job. Fantastic livery actually too on Josh Vedica's car.
Yeah, love it. Love the paintwork that turned up late in the piece from Ashley and Josh. Yep. And Aztec as well. So
Aztec, a few guys actually that
McKellar,
popped in some late entries there. I think it was Phil Davison as well, J-Man in the red and white.
So once again, another 2 tenths made by the 27 car over the 43. So that trend certainly just clicking away as McDonald's just chipping a couple of tenths every lap.
Yep.
He'll need to be clinically accurate for a choice of words to be able to bridge that gap back to Shane, because Shane's got fresh air, an absolute talent behind the wheel of that Audi. You mentioned earlier on, I don't know if it was off camera or on camera, but there's probably not many places that Shane hasn't taken that Audi, and it's
yeah, look, I've been calling it all year. It's just an all-rounder. Like the car is quick on every track. There's sort of no horses for courses with the Audi. You can make it work. Well, I think Shane makes it work. I think either way, whether it's the car or it's Shane, he definitely gets that thing pulled in. Doesn't matter which track he puts it on. It's been fantastic to watch this year, actually, J-Man.
Yeah, and another good battle going down in P11, 10th and 11th, Adam Falconer and Lucas Sarr in the Mr. Schmidt Ferrari, the one and only Ferrari we have seen out there this season. An absolutely well presented car as well from Lucas, and there's around about a second and a half in that battle, so not bumper to bumper, but certainly in the hunt is Lucas for that top 10 at the moment. So
yeah, so field spread now somewhat. I think we've only seen a couple of pit stops, J-Man. 3 pit stops so far.
Yeah,
I think once we start seeing a few more pit stops, that it will. Do you think it'll make more sense? It'll probably make less sense, won't it? We see that the last few, as usual. It's been an awesome Enduro series, actually, J-Man. Just try to get inside the heads of these guys as they calculate their way through the race and their pit stopping. It's been really awesome to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Once again, I'm keeping up with this stuff that's going on up the top end of town there, and John Boy's got that underneath 5 seconds now, having run a 21.7 that last lap versus Shane's 22.0. So they actually both drivers stepped up the pace that last lap as well, based on the previous one. So
now you know, as one of these top end drivers, J-Man, Shane will be feeling that pressure, won't he? Even though he can hardly see John's car in the background, in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, look, he'll have some telemetry telling him what's going on, and at 4.9 seconds, I would still think he's pretty comfortable, and he's out there just driving it to a limit, and no further at this point in time. But yeah, on the other hand, John will be attacking. He's attacking at the moment, and but it's a calculated attack because we're not seeing any mistakes. But he just has that little bit more car pace. Obviously, you know, it's a couple of 3/10 everywhere. Well, sorry, not everywhere, but every lap, and you know, and that builds confidence as well. You know, when you see the delta come up and you're up, or you're matching your times, and then you see that gap coming down, as he just saw it again. He would have just seen it live like us, and he saw it go from 4.9 to 4.5. So he knows he's made 4.4 tenths already in this lap. So that breeds confidence as a driver. You know, if you know that the car's working and you've got the pace. And John,
it sort of gives you the confidence to press on, doesn't it? You know, and
yep. And he's a driver that he's very, very tactical. We've seen him. He was the only guy that took 2 tyres this season, as he brings that margin down to 4.3. So that was a good 7 tenths, 6.5, 7 tenths this lap alone.
They're fairly hefty chunks though, J-Man. You know, like I said, you know, Shane will be seeing that on his telemetry, and yeah, like he might not be nervous at 4+ seconds out, but he'll be taking note.
When it gets to 3.5, he'll start considering it. Yeah, because that red Marmite car will be
start getting in his mirrors, eh?
It is becoming a fair bit bigger, as I just watched Mudgeway. Robertson Carson just coming through a ruse there, and
super fast. Looked like Mudgy might have just got over the curve a little bit there on that one.
Jordan Moss and Rusty Shackelford in the pit lane.
Okay, so we've got another couple in the lane. Shackelford probably just getting out of a bit of a battle he was having with Andrews there.
Yep.
As well, which is probably not a bad thing. Moss also in the pits.
What else we got going on there? How's Dave Zero pressing on?
Hadn't really come up on our radar, actually, Jordan Moss. So, yeah, but in the pits now, Dave Zero over the start-finish line in clean air at the moment, J-Man. No pressure.
And lapping very similar to the leaders at the moment.
Yeah,
very
like,
similar.
Look at those times. You know,
he actually has got the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, and he did it Monza as well, Jamie. So,
yes, he did.
You know, very quick.
Yeah, so a 21.3's significantly quicker than when he ran that lap than everybody else around him. Because I think the time he did that was when I quoted that maybe McDonald had done a 21.7, so some margin there. So that in the long game will play big dividends to Dave Zero, because I mean, albeit we're seeing him in P17, expect to see him well inside the 10 by the time the curtain falls on this one.
So I don't know, but I sort of suspect those boys just had long pit stops, J-Man.
Yep, another couple of tenths from John Boy there.
Might have clicked on it a little bit late, but yeah. So again, it's this the lottery. You know, who's doing the short stop first? Who's doing the long one next? Are they going to both? Look, some of these guys are going to need some stops just to get fuel in these cars.
I believe so. Yeah, no, I believe so. You know, we spoke about the McLaren, for instance. The McLaren only holds 109 litres on predictive calculator for fuel burn at about 3.85 litres a lap here. That car is going, that car is going to need 204 litres to finish this race.
Yeah. So what's that, 2 full tanks?
Sorry, 208 maybe. I think they've got about 4 litres in reserve if they double fill this tank. So
it's a lot of fuel. They're big pit stops.
So that's the first time in a fair few laps that I've seen the marker go back towards Shane Holiday. It was 4.1 and it went back to
it pulled 4 tenths there.
Yeah,
4 tenths there. So I was clearly a small mistake from McDonald. Just putting him back a little bit as we see a couple more guys pit stopped or again just there. So we got Jordan Moss has pitted, Rusty Shackelford pitted, Steve Melling, Steve Wilton and Dave Zero all done their first compulsory pit stop so far.
Yeah, so Sam Carson sort of just was watching him just attacking the back of Brad Robinson a little bit more, which potentially gave a little bit of reprieve to Mudgee there a little bit, kind of allowed that pack to spread out a little bit. It spread out a little bit again from Carso and Brad, but I think just in that heat of that moment when Brad was maybe a little bit defensive, it allowed Mudgee just to
get out of it,
step out a little bit, and obviously there's so Mudgeway's pulled, so McDonald's pulled that margin back. He's just jumped under the 4 second mark. So a little bit ebb and flow from those front boys.
Okay, that's quick response there.
Yeah. Dave Zero progressing quite nicely after that first pit stop. He's already up to P15 having made a stop, and he's past the likes of Phil Davis and Bobby Laycock and Brendan Rolfe who haven't made stops. We saw that on track. So Dave's pressing on this strategy that he's running, this early stop, as is, I believe, Farmer and I think early in the piece was Steve Melling.
I agree.
That'll come back to these guys. They take the pain early and it comes back later on. So I think smart play. Conditions are pretty favourable. We have got looking like a little bit more cloud rolling in. I'm just looking at the graphic at the moment and can't visually see it at the moment, but there's a bit more cloud rolling in, and the prospect of a little bit of rain is a very real thing here today, guys. So that would certainly shake things up exponentially.
Wouldn't it what? So it's only slightly overcast. Probably a little bit better than it was in early practice before race, but definitely a high likelihood of, mate, we have still got an hour and 25 minutes to go, Jamie. It's a long time to go in this race, so weather-wise around Spa, anything could happen.
A big shout out to Kenny Simpson currently too, running in P12. Kenny put a lot of work in this week. I happened to catch up with Ken a little bit during the week. Sort of spent a bit of time outside of Thursdays with Ken. He's a great bloke, great racer, speedway driver outside of sim racing in the real world. Bit of a talent. Probably a little bit more used to not something with so much aero and grip. But Kenny gets out there and does.
So?
Does a great job. And currently running P12. Hasn't made any stops yet, but he's up there in some good company. He's got Adam Falconer up the road from him. He's got Lachlan Andrews down the road from him. So, Kenny doing a great job out there in the beautifully presented Red Bull McLaren.
Yeah, fantastic looking car, J-Man. And just like right in that sort of zone in the field where he really deserves to be, I think, like that. That top end of the mid-pack, nice work from Kenny there. As, we keep it on those times from, as we just see Mudgee and Brad Robinson just slip past B-Dog there, which has sort of interrupted their proceedings a little bit. Looks like Brad wanted to have a little bit of a sniff, but Brad,
you know,
he's driving a very measured race. It's, you know, there's no sense on poking the nose of that Aston up somewhere where it shouldn't be. You know,
now, these guys have done this already this season, I believe. I can't remember what round it was, but I do remember Brad and Mudgee just absolutely going at it. So I'd expect those guys to hang around for a chit-chat after this, mate, and give each other a pat on the back.
These guys have been running for 15 minutes with no contact and no incident. So very tidy stuff. Swap position a few times there, just off camera. It's caught me out a couple of times. I've come back to them and showing Robinson in front. And so I'd missed something there in the but these guys well at it and very tidy stuff, Jamie. Very tidy.
Yeah, absolutely. I might just use this opportunity as this is just pressing on quite nicely just to make a pit stop myself, and
roger that.
And I'll be right back.
Yes, I know. Nice work from the board as we were talking about, and Kenny Simpson at the moment. Lachlan Andrews next on the list there in third. Dave Zero, one of the first pit stoppers as well, so he is doing well back up into 14th, so nice work from Dave just to get back up into 14th there after a pit stop, and a Bear Grylls in 15 at the moment. But yes, the focus has been on the lap times of the two boys at the top. They're just looking at John McDonald's last lap time with a 2:23.267, a lot slower, like nearly a full second slower than Shane Frattardo. So yeah, a little bit of an ebb and flow there from John McDonald at the moment, with Shane out in front in the Audi, just making that thing work. Like I mentioned earlier, just a really good all-round car, and particularly at Shane, you know, at the hand of Shane Frattardo, just making it work once again. Ken Block tribute car.
Beautiful car.
If you hadn't noticed, with the monster stuff and the 43 blasted all over. Fantastic stuff, J-Man.
Yeah, he's got it out there, getting it some airtime. Just, yeah, another absolute tragedy, sad loss to the motorsport community. But yeah, Shane doing a great job out there tonight. Really got a great start, and eyes forward. He's just, he's just got that ever-present bloody 27 BMW just chipping away, and there's a little bit of ebb and flow, because I did see it go down to 3.5, and I think that was maybe potentially when I was going to call him Ken then. When Shane rounded up B-Dog, and then I think maybe John got a slightly better run through there. So there's a little bit of ebb and flow, but it's a little bit static around that 4-second mark. And you know, throw a pit stop in the mix, mate, and anything can happen.
Absolutely. Alan Poole, you can see out of the front of Alan. Let's just get the helmet out of it. You can actually see John McDonald and Shane. Yeah, so he's well in touch with these top two drivers, staying very focused.
And then, so if you do the same thing to Josh Vettiger, he's got the same visual. He's got around about the same visual.
Yeah, well, he's probably a little bit closer to Alan than Alan is to John McDonald, but just they're in touch. They know they're in touch, and like you said, just throw a pit stop in there, mate.
Well, you're right, because it's 3.9 from John to Shane, it's 3.6 from Alan to John, and it's 3.9 from Josh to Alan.
Hey, and who's right behind it, mate? Who's right behind it?
Ooh, little rub on the wall there from Josh Vettiger down the front chute there, heading towards the Rouge. He actually rubbed the wall. So
a bit distracted from Josh Vettiger. Who is that in the pits there? Phil Davis in the BMW.
Yeah, and the hybrid paint livery. Custom skin there, a bit of post haste, a bit of courier post, a bit of something like that. I stand corrected, but a well presented BMW at that.
But it works nicely.
Oh, who's that? Brad Robinson attacking Mark Mudgway again.
Yeah.
And they have got Josh Vertiger just in front of them, as you mentioned. So those margins leading up to what would effectively be
Very
the first
close
round of pit stops for these front runners, because you can bet your $1 that they will be going shortly as we approach the, what are we approaching? We're at the 40-odd minute mark.
So back to 6. These guys are close.
Very close. Very close. Track has, just as we're speaking, just gone to optimum. So watch the times. The guys have got the absolute best track conditions out there right now.
Yep. Nice temperatures too, J-Man. Track's sweet as these guys. You watch these times, but again, like we mentioned right at the beginning, the tyres. Have they got enough tyres to go pushing too hard?
What a great question.
We don't know, do we?
Okay, so the question come in, is Dave racing at Shane's pace better or worse? Well, I can tell you last lap round, Dave Zero ran a 2:22.3 and Shane ran a 2:22.6. So he's some 3/10 better on the last lap round than Shane Bonetto was, Daniel. So he is definitely on track to come up the field on what I think is a great strategy to stop early, get himself out of that, because let's be fair, Dave saw a lot of action in the opening laps, more than he probably wanted. So I think it was a great play for him to get out of that and use the car pace that he's got, which he's clearly doing now.
Yep. And they're just moving up ever so slightly through the field, and the times show Jay. We just got to keep going back to this Mudgeway Brad Robinson battle. It's relentless, and they continue to keep up. Do you think Josh Vertiger is just monitoring that gap? You know, do you think Josh is only pushing himself hard enough just to stay in front of Mudgy? Because Mudgy's got his hands full. These guys surely are holding themselves up to a certain extent. Is Josh that clever that he's just going, I'll keep him, 2 seconds back,
Yeah, look, could well be, like it's hard to know what these guys are up to at this part of the race, but I think they're very aware of the margins, and Josh is so measured as we see Vaughan Martin come in the pits, and this is an interesting one for me. Try to break away from the Josh Mudgy, Josh Allard pool battle, but Vaughan Martin into the lane, and this will be interesting based on the fact that I'd like to see, obviously Dave Zero about to come past it, but I really want to see where he comes out in relation to Steve Wilton. Now, they could be on an opposing strategy based on the fact that we know that these guys are likely going to take fuel and tyres. We know that the tyres always covers fuel, but we know that some of these guys' tanks are slightly bigger, less fuel burn. Maybe they're just taking the fuel now and then maybe taking the tyres and a big gulp of fuel later. I'm not sure. But we do see Steve Wilton come round, and Vaughan's still on the jack. So Dave Zero and also Steve Wilton well through. So
yes. And did you? I sort of expected that. I don't know why. What are your thoughts there? It's a different strategy. The BMW is going to need as much fuel as anybody else, aren't they? All these guys will be topping right up.
Look, I think, I haven't got the graphic in front of me, but you've got as much difference as, I'm going to pick on the McLaren, as I mentioned before, at 109 litres and a 3.85 litre burn. And then you've got the likes of, I think, the BMW, which has around 119 or 120 litre tank with a 3.85 litre burn. So I think, you've got the same burn but a different tank size. So, so there must be, Kunos have obviously calculated and calibrated in there what's what, and maybe the McLaren technically is supposed to be a little bit quicker out here. I'm not sure, but we're not seeing it that much at the moment.
No.
But obviously different drivers in different classes. But
interesting stuff to digest, J-Man, as we just see the Mudgeway Brad Robinson battle continue. let's have a look through the field. We might just slip back to Lucas Saar. See how he's going. He's got Wilton just tucked in behind him there, and Wilton, one of the ones in early for a very early pit stop. He was probably one of the first three.
Yeah, so Lucas Saar's also made a pit stop. So this is legit. There'll be no blue flags. This is legitimately for position.
This is for position. Lachlan Andrews, actually, I just noticed entering the pits. Yep. So yes, interesting to see how these boys roll. They're not looking too bad pace-wise.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether up the front, as you carry on watching that, whether John McDonald's just been twiddling with some gauges looking for a pit stop here, because he did lose about 6 tenths actually to Shane Potato, and Allard Poole is right on the back of him now. He's got that down to 1.7 seconds. That was about 3.6.
Yeah.
So been a bit of a shift there, but you know, back into relation to Lucas Saar.
Yes, we just see
Farmer got through.
Farmer sneaking past.
He gets the job done.
Up the hill. Furo Rouge again. Interesting to see how the boys go with corners. Farmer extremely fast in the BMW. I'm just not sure whether he probably nicked a bit of a cut there.
Yeah, it was pretty wide. And it was pretty pretty loose into the right-hander coming down the hill. He was quite sideways on the entry, so he's pushing hard.
He's definitely pushing hard, but yeah, snuck him up there, J-Man.
Yeah, so net gain there, and Farmer's still playing into that battle with the likes of Rusty Shackelford and Vaughan Martin, who he's both in front of those guys at the moment, legitimately. So, you know, Farmer's another guy, plays it down, you know this guy personally, and he plays everything down. He's a pretty cool customer, but he's a smart operator too, so he knows what he has to do out there tonight. He's clearly looking at this enduro battle going on at the moment, and you know, there's some silverware, bronzeware or silverware, whatever it might be, to gain.
There's something there.
Yeah. Steve Melling's quietly creeping up there too. This is the guy that's, you know, he's looking, you know, he's basically got both hands on the overall Pro-Am title.
So he's looking at silverware as well.
Well, he's looking at goldware for the overall, but he's still looking at potential goldware for the enduro title, and he'd love to clean sweep this class. And I think it's due. Steve's a guy that consistently turns up every week and does his level best and punches the numbers, and you know, and I'll quote some of those numbers for some of these guys in a little bit, but yeah, some very, very consistent guys out there. Steve Melling's one of them, so he's out there just racing his own race. He's got Rusty Shackelford in behind him, who is a guy that he's watching closely, because yeah, Rusty's in the hunt here for this enduro title.
Yes, and no doubt well knows it, and no slouch, Rusty, when he needs to be. So yeah, I'm sure again we'll see Steve no doubt monitoring that gap, J-Man.
The Allard Poole got that on to 1 second, the margin now. John Boy pulled that margin from 4.9 down to 3.8. Who was that just rolling through the lane? Was that Bear Grylls?
Yep.
Okay, so Bear Grylls in for a scheduled stop. Guys going on out there now for just over 50 minutes. We know the tyre starts getting a little stressed. Well, previously, I'm not sure about version 1.9, but a little bit stressed at the 1 hour mark. And tanks, certainly for the McLaren, I would say be getting pretty low at the 1 hour mark. So about another 9 minutes. If the pit lane doesn't light up like a Christmas tree, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, too true.
Shane just running quite wide coming down the hill there as well, through
for the McLarens anyway. But yes, also we got, who is this? Chris Hingston giving Sam Carson a whole bunch of grief there in 7th and 8th position, J-Man. So
yeah. Carso, for the better part, was right in that battle with Brad
was.
Robertson and Mark Mudgway, but just for whatever reason fell off that battle, whether he's run into some tyre issues or made a bit of a mistake that we haven't caught on camera, I'm not sure.
But they've definitely gapped him anyway. But yeah, fell back into the clutches of Chris Hickson by the look. Dave Zero in the pits, J-Man, with it looks like a damaged Aston Martin.
Oh no, that is not good. Dave Zero was pressing on so nicely. He had made his way up to P11.
Yeah.
And if this is scheduled, this will be the last of his stops. So he will have, a bit over an hour to run. So obviously that car's able to do that. If it's unscheduled.
Oh, John McDonald in. Watch this on the replay. Pull right up behind John McDonald on the way up the hill here.
Yep.
Got very close. The Merc extremely strong.
Yeah, I think it was the right time to go for JB, I think.
John had slowly fallen back into the clutches of Alan
I've just seen Josh escape back to pits, so he's had a huge incident.
So Josh
he actually escaped back.
Yeah, Josh Redigar.
Yes. I was watching Dave Zero and I just saw Josh's car land on the blocks, which effectively put him a lap down because it's going to lock his controls for the better part of some crazy amount of seconds as we see B-Dogs just leaving the lane.
Go. So yeah, he's literally just rolled off the end of turn one there.
Yep.
And just got out of the car.
Hardware failure or something.
I would suspect so, J-Man.
Okay, we'll see what we've got there.
Quite often when we see these balls.
Joshy, have you got us on comms there, mate? You got us on comms, Joshy?
So yeah, Kenny Simpson and Bear Grylls wanted to get in amongst the action there on the way up the hill.
Yeah, I think
that
so.
Looks like the Dave Zero Aston as well. He may have just come out of the pits, I think.
Dave Zero, that was a scheduled stop, mate. He's done. He's fueled.
He's done too.
Done for home. So
he's got a long run home, but there you go. That car's looking heavy. He's just come out of the pits. He's let Kenny Simpson just slip past him. Bear Grylls just sitting in behind him. He'll be just trying to get that car up to temp and get his rhythm back. Simpson and Sam Carson in 5th. Now Carson has Hingston right.
Oh, I've just watched Alan Poole just absolutely butcher the final chicane. Unfortunately, just heavy under brakes and just got that wrong. So any sort of margin that he was looking for an overcut on John there would have been mitigated by that slight mistake there.
That's unfortunate because John, although slow towards the end of that lap and the end of his stint there, did duck into the pits perfectly, as we just see Sam Carson in as well, J-Man.
Yeah, Carso's in the lane. Yep.
Bedicar's still sitting. I can't see it, so it shows he's still connected on the server, but...
Yeah, I'll have another go. I will have another go trying to communicate with Joshy there, so we'll just see what's going on there. Joshy, you got us on comms?
Yeah, Carson in the pits as we speak. Josh Rediger in the pits, obviously. Vaughan Martin also in the pits. Dave Zero just recently out. Faulkner in the pits as well. Yeah. So here we go. This is the mid-race flurry of pit stops. Alan Poole, one to watch. We want to see that Mercedes in the pits. We want to see where that comes out compared to the McDonald car. These guys locked in battle.
So,
also,
tell me,
Mudgway, Brad Robinson are the other two we really want to keep an eye on. Have been locked
absolutely.
In battle.
I just see Vaughan Martin in the lane as well. I'm just trying to pick him up on my graphic, Davo. Is this his second stop? I'm just trying to get an idea of where he is. I've lost him on my graphic there temporarily.
Yeah, I've lost him as well. So he may have retired. To see if that just equalises a little bit. Steve Wilton in 10th position. Nice work from Steve. Mark Mudgway, Brad Robinson still going hard at it. Crazy. These guys have been inseparable the whole race so far. Nearly an hour's worth of racing. These guys have been at it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so just a reply there from Dave's brother. Don't think it was a strategy pit for Dave, not with 68 minutes to go with the same tyres and a full tank. Is there even enough space to make it to the end? That's a great question.
Yeah, it is stretched.
And Daniel is one of our key guys that watches every week and has picked up before we did, unless you've already said it and I haven't heard you, that there is rain in 15 minutes.
Oh, there is, as you called it. There you go. Nice
good
work.
spotting, Daniel. We appreciate
spotted, Daniel.
Your bloody well spotted call there.
There's been so much going on. It just slipped past us here as we just look out of the back of Rusty Shackleton's car. With Bobby Laycock there in tow. Jordan Moss, Steve Melling.
Yep.
As they just run down into the valley there.
This could be a great call from Dave Zero, though. The brain's ticking. He's made his stops. Does he come in and when he grabs a wet tyre, we know that a tyre covers fuel. Did he read that right and comes in and grabs a wet tyre and fuels the car up?
And a splash. Yeah.
Well, no, grabs a splash and does his
just
20,
enough to get him across. And then obviously less fuel burn in the wet conditions because the boys don't run so hot on the throttles. Woo, J-Man, what is going to happen here?
Well, it's anybody's guess. Josh Vedeker,
Kenny Simpson, is that the Dave Zero car? Yes, it is. Just ducking around Simpson now.
Yeah, I see that. Gets the job done. Beautiful pass, actually, Dave Zero. Really, really strong in the brakes.
Yeah, got the car out early, really made his intentions known. And, the right corner, just a nice out-braking move.
So just had a message from Vaughan Martin and lost it at Rouge, had to retire the car. So that's condolences to Vaughan. That's if it's going to go bad, it's at a Rouge, mate. So
it doesn't go bad. Yeah.
Great season, mate. Love having you on board. Catching up with you off track as well. It's really cool, mate. So enjoy the stream. I guess it's the best you can get when you have a bad incident, is less you can pick up on the action and see what's going on. Brad Robinson in the lane. So Brad has pulled himself out of that fight with Mark Mudgway to come in and make the first of his official stops.
So I wondered who was gonna break there. Now Mudgy, what does he do, J-Man? Does he cover it off straight away? He would, look, these guys don't have much margin here, fuel-wise anyway, so...
Well, they can't go the extra 15 minutes till the rain comes, so unfortunately, I can't help but feel like it may be the John McDonald's and the Steve Wiltons, Lucas Saar, Jordan Moss, those are the guys I'm calling, and Sam Carson, that may be the guys that might be in the box seat to come in and make their second official pit stop, put a wet tyre on. Yeah. I think this could be a great call. John McDonald, I believe, is in the box seat right now if he gets the strategy right. Because he has made one stop.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Straight from the horse's mouth, Delano calling it. Bit of rain coming in. Might see a wet end to this race. We don't know how long will it hang around. It's such a variable, and these guys, some of them only on one stop, some of them on two. Where's it going to go?
Yeah, so your two stoppers to this point is Rusty Shackelford, Steve Melling, and Dave Zero. So that is the order that they're in. Although, just having said that,
look at this, J-Man, Alan Poole and Shane Faraday.
What has happened to Steve Melling? He's dropping like a stone. What is going on there? what happened there? Why did he go back to position so quickly? I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, Alan Poole all over the back of Frodo now. So we've missed something there. Jane's come way back to the Mercedes. Mercedes, oh, showing the nose.
Yeah,
Only
so that's tightened right up.
So and Shane, rightly so, into the pits, doesn't want to know anything about that.
So an absolutely stellar drive by Shane up to this point, but even more so as well. Got to give credit to Allard for driving his way forward.
Yeah, and like getting, just basically winding himself back up behind John McDonald firstly. Yep. John McDonald got out of it as soon as he was on his tail. He's done exactly the same thing to Shane Frodo. Frodo's straight out as soon as he gets involved. So,
yep, Hinkston in the lane, Mudgee in the lane.
It's all happening.
Bobby Laycock in the lane.
So we need to watch Mudgee, see where he gets out on Brad Robinson.
Well, that's the battle. That's the battle. Brad's just coming through. Where is he? He's coming through the double gauche now.
It's a long way down.
Yeah, he's a
fair way back. Long pit stop this.
And he's got Steve Wilton up the road ahead of him. So Steve Wilton doing a great job. He's all the way up to P7 with that early stop. I think Farmer was maybe one of our earliest stoppers.
Yeah, one of the first three, Stave Zero, Farmer, and I think Steve Melling, J-Man, all first in their pit stops.
Where is McDonald? McDonald is rounding the final chicane, coming down towards La Source now.
Oh, he'll have this.
So where's Shane? Shane and Mudgee, line astern in the pit box.
Still.
Hinkston just pulling up behind them now. So some margin there. Where is McDonald? Where is McDonald going to come out? He's coming down the front straight now.
He's got him.
He's got him, all right.
He's got him. Want to watch Brad Robinson here too. He's just coming across the start-finish line at the top of the hill.
Ain't off the blocks.
So he needs to get Mudgee. Mudgee down the dip. Brad Robinson, no. So Mudgee's got Brad.
Wilton's close. Wilton's a hell of a lot closer than he was. Rain now 5 minutes away.
The McDonald in front of Frodo. Mudgee away in front of Robinson. Wilton puts himself in between. Nice work. And as the clouds just nearly start to... Oh, God, it's looking dark now.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. The clouds are going to open any moment.
Yeah, the boys are just going to press on as hard as they can. I still think McDonald here is in the box seat here. Obviously, Shane's fueled for longer. But what we can tell you, viewers, is that in 5 minutes it's going to rain, but in 15 minutes it is actually going to bucket down. So it will be the wet tyre. I expect that once it starts raining, expect to see John McDonald fill the car up for home and put a wet tyre on and pray to the weather gods that it's going to rain to the end of this thing. Oh, Brad Robinson monstering Steve Wilton down through the mid-sector of this track. Got all sorts of pace on him down the hill.
Yeah, well, he's been used to tailing Mudgee all race, J-Man. I don't think...
Simpson to the
I don't think Wilton's got that measure. You know, like, really, has he?
Yeah, and look at Mudgee. Mudgee is all over. He's already caught Shane. There was a big margin when they left the pit lane, and Mudgee is already on the back of Shane Frodo.
Yeah. So, the game's changed now, J-Man, as we see the temperatures starting to drop. Track temps down to 32.
Look at the drive. Look at the drive from that BMW.
Ambient temperatures down, track temperatures down, track's still optimum,
easy
but it is going to rain. Easy pass, J-Man.
Yep, and Brad Robinson
Shane has nothing for him here.
Wilton's gone to the lane. What does Wilton do? I'm going to give you guys a graphic. I'm going to see if he bolts a wet tyre on, anticipating this rain.
Also in the pit lane. Sorry, J-Man. Yes.
You're right. So, Farmer into the lane. I'll let you know if he bolts on a wet tyre. This could be a master. No,
He's not showing
he's
up.
not doing it drive through.
Simpson
Lucas
also
Sarr
in the lane as well.
Yeah, he's been in there for quite a while.
In the lane. So there's a biggie, leader of the race.
Yeah, this is his first stop.
Now, just after we saw him reel in second and first position, just before they both peeled out, we really need to see where Allard comes out here. This is a super long pit lane. It just feels like an eternity.
Allard Pool, yeah, Allard Pool.
Grab a couple, guys.
For me, Farmer may have called this because if he bolts on a wet tyre right now...
Is it too early, J-Man?
Well,
we don't know.
It's coming in 5 minutes, and I said that 2 minutes ago, so I believe it's probably going to come inside the next 2 laps. It is going to come inside the next 2 laps. So does Farmer put on a wet tyre? I will tell you in a second. It's raining. The rain has already turned up.
It is raining, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Farmer
he's on a wet tyre.
He's on a wet tyre. He sat there on the jacks, did he, until the rain started?
He did. He did. He waited for the rain.
Allard Pool in the pit lane. Doesn't he get it right, J-Man?
I'll tell you in a second. John McDonald in the lane. Perfect timing from John. He came in.
He's just coming up the hill. Perfect timing, like you said. Brad Robinson in the chicane. Oh, he and Mudgy stay out, J-Man.
I don't know that I would have wanted to stay out. You're
gonna keep a little bit of What's a rouge here?
Allard Pool on a wet tyre.
Yeah, mate, perfect. So Allard Pool coming out. There's no way they're going to catch him if he's on a wet.
Well, that's his first stop. John McDonald's in for a second.
Yeah. So the boys still running pretty hot, J-Man. Just watching the Aston and Mudgy's BMW up through a ruse there. Still pretty quick. Oh, looks like the Aston might have it on him though. Oh, this is going to get tight.
This is going to get squirrely. The back end of this lap's going to be pretty hard
These
to hang on to.
guys have got to stop, surely. They'll see the same data as us. They'll know it's going to get heavy.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame, Joshy. Sorry, guys. Called as I was having VR troubles. My tracking was moving. Oh, that's a real shame, Josh. You were right in that battle, mate. We were rooting for you, mate. We know how good you are in these changeable conditions, mate. So buckle up and enjoy the stream. And look forward to seeing you on track again in the next interim series, pal. Great to have you back.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Josh Rediger. J-Man, a bit of an insight there. As we just see Bobby Laycock getting off track there a little bit, letting Mudgy pass, Brad Robinson pass. Everything's tidy as Wilton on a set of wets. We have Allard Pool on a set of wets. These guys surely are going to make some gain.
Going for another lap, remembering that this guy has completed his stops well. We think he has, and he's still on a slick tyre. We've got McDonald out there on a wet tyre now.
Kenny Simpson in, Falconer in.
Yeah, they're all coming in, changing tyres, so those guys have had to make the double. So, Allard Pool with a massive moment. Oh, sorry, Dave Zero with a massive moment at a Rouge understeer. So, you know, if these guys were dealing with track cuts already, those are those guys out there.
It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. As we just see Mudgway and Brad Robinson coming up to the final chicane here. J-Man, do they duck in?
Come in.
Surely, yes. Yep. Mudgy in.
Brad in. So these guys still in the mix. These guys still in the mix.
Shane Faraday stays out.
Shane is on a wet tyre though, so Shane's
on
good.
A wet tyre. Hingston in. So here we go. Everyone in for the wet. And Allard Pool, mate, he is going to drive away with this.
No, well, you've got to remember that he's still got one more stop. He's still got one more stop to make. John McDonald in P8 has done 2 stops, and they were in the lane at the same time.
If it dries out, though, he's got to stop anyway.
Yeah, maybe in the box seat. Yeah, for sure. But he's struggling. I can tell you now, he is struggling. What I've seen so far is...
Even on the wet tyre?
Massive amounts of understeer, yeah, for sure.
Car may not be set up for it right, AJ, man, and that's all it takes.
Yeah. We'll monitor the lap times, folks, and let you know who's doing what on a wet tyre.
That's what we will. Mudgeway in, Brad Robinson, Chris Hingston, Jordan Moss, Sam Carson in. John McDonald drives out. He's on a wet tyre still.
He's just changed to a wet. That was his first lap since pit stop. So we'll see some indicative times. But the fastest lap
he's going to duck past a few of these guys here. Just right
he is going to go past. Yep.
So this could put him in maybe 3rd position. Where's Mudgy at the moment? Still in the pit lane.
Yeah. No, John's going to go to 3rd here, and he's effectively, if the weather stays like this, John Boy has a big run wide at a Rouge.
Yeah. Tough not to do in these conditions, even on the wet rubber.
Yeah, so she's all just shaking up.
The boys they're trying to find their water wings, mate.
So that puts John McDonald up into P2. I can tell you the fastest driver on a wet tyre right now is Shane Potato at a 2:32.8. So Shane's pretty comfy at the moment. So John will have to match those times, if not better them, over these next 2 laps to stay in touch.
Yeah. Okay, let's duck back down the field a bit. We have Steve Wilton. Who's that? Dave Zero in the pits again.
Okay, so Dave had to come in because he was on a slick tyre.
Yep.
So this, like I mentioned earlier, because Dave had done both his stops, this is actually going to hurt him. However, as per Daniel mentioned, he was not sure that he wasn't fueled for home anyway. So either way, the tyre stop is the longest duration that you'll spend in pit lane.
For sure. Now, Wilton in 6th position, and he really has nailed that the timing on his pit stops there, hasn't he, J-Man? That really has done him put him in good stead there.
I think it's a legitimate gain. I think it's a great strat call, and it's one that, like, we can tell the viewers that these guys have had to make on the fly because they do not have any information on what the weather conditions are going to do here tonight, other than what we're seeing on the graphic as far as the next 5 or 15 minutes.
It's going to
due to these erratic weather parameters. So
it's very basic data, isn't it, J-Man?
it's a bit archaic, but hey, look, nonetheless, it creates a great spectacle. G'day, Ash. You've tuned in at a great time, mate, because the boys were out there on an optimum track. Some guys obviously had made 2 stops already, the likes of Day Zero. Now they've had to make an unscheduled stop for the rain. Some guys, the likes of Farmer, I believe, John McDonald and Allard Poole. Great timing, as we just see. Who's that? Steve Wilton had a massive moment through Blanchimont. Don't know how he saved that.
Gathers it up nicely.
So she's a mixed bag right now, mate. Absolutely up in the air. I think from the comms box, I'm saying that John McDonald is in the box seat.
John's looking good. Allard Poole quite possibly could.
He's still got one stop to make. Yeah,
if it clears up. Right. Yep. Oh, look at that, as you see. John McDonald, and it was also Hingston behind him. Seriously sideways. In the replay there, J-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Both. It was Wilton and Hingston.
It's epic stuff.
Bit of speedway going on at Spa.
Oh, man. Look, Farmer, go-kart racer. He'd be right up for this.
No stranger to chucking it in.
And look at these two. Hingston. All over him.
Going at it. So, well worth the watch back, Ash, at some point, mate, from the beginning, because this one is throwing up in the serious battles. Allard Poole, this is for his final stop. So this is the one I want you to measure against John McDonald, because JB and Allard were in the lane at the same time. John making his second stop, Allard making his first. John is actually coming down. I'm just trying to work out where
he's
he
down
is.
at the bottom of the hill.
Okay. Yeah, so this is still looking favourable, I think, to JB, because JB's last step time was a
Alan hasn't
2:34.
even got to his pit box yet, so this, yeah, I think you're right. It might still be favourable to John McDonald as he just rounds the bottom corner and starts to run up the hill.
I can tell you that there was 6 seconds between Shane Fodderdo and John McDonald's last lap times.
6 seconds.
6 seconds in the lap. Yep.
Wow.
So
that's a big gap.
I'd expect John McDonald to potentially take the lead of the race here. He's looking comfy at a 2:34.7.
Yeah, nicely into the final chicane there, J-Man.
And he's match fit. You know, he's been out there in the wet.
Totally. Alan Poole in the pits, only just really got to his spot there.
Yeah, and John Boy's just coming up to La Source now, so he's about to come down that part of the racetrack.
And pretty well all over there for Alan for that position. But Shane, the next to watch, because Shane still needs to pit as well, J-Man.
Yeah, he does, and he ran a 2:40. John just ran a 2:35, so another 5 seconds difference between the lap time here.
Oh,
so
Alan Poole, and that is somebody just having a big crash.
Whereabouts?
I think it's Rusty. Yes, Rusty Shackelford. Rouge. We'll get a replay on that.
Okay, did he escape back to pits? I think he has. Lucas Saar in the lane. So this is the last stop. So he's managed to stay up there the whole time.
Yeah.
On a dry tyre and run 2:42s. Now Shane was running 2:40s on a wet tyre. So that Ferrari working very, very well on a slick tyre in these conditions.
Very well. As we just see, Rusty getting in very hard there. Unfortunate for Rusty. And back to the pit lane.
Yeah,
John
battle
McDonald,
of attrition out there.
Isn't it? And Spa will do it to you in the dry. Okay? And just put a spit of water on the place, and it's pretty hectic.
So I believe, looking at the margins, 19 seconds from McDonald back to Mudgeway, I believe this could see a Breakfast Crew 1-2 here, depending on Shane's stop.
Yeah, well, Shane's stop. That's
he's got 30 seconds to make on the stop.
That's the critical point, isn't it? It's whether Mudgeway can get up there as well.
And look at Brad Robinson, still on the back of Mark Mudgeway.
Right back where he was, like literally. I think it was maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes they weren't that close together, but pretty well the rest of the race. Those guys have been nose to tail. As we see McDonald again, they really do fall drift these cars through some of this fast stuff, J-Man, to get the turn in required. As I think that's McDonald starting to range up on the back of Melling, is it?
Yeah. So the question, Ash, what did you miss, mate? You missed a lot. Would have loved to have you out on track here tonight, mate, because drying conditions. This is asking every bit of everyone's sim experience for this sort of stuff. Going from an optimum track to an absolute, dare I say it, shitter.
Yeah.
McDonald with a calculated drive here. Really, really impressed. Mudgeway also. Mudgey's done enough at this point to do the job. We knew that there'd be 8 positions required, and that was always going to be a tough task, because at this point in time, I'm just going to let you know that the likes of Mark Mudgeway, some stats for that guy for the season: 3 race wins. 3 race wins. He's been on the podium 5 times. He's only been out of the top 10 twice in the season. Has 1 pole position. So just great stats, breakout season for Mudgeway. We saw it a couple of seasons ago that he had the potential, and he's really just showing us what he's got this season. So great job from Mudgee. He's currently sitting P3 with the potential to go P2 pending how Shane Fodado's pit stop goes.
Yep.
Yes. So Shane just ran a 2:39 the last lap. Mudgee on a 2:38. So another second best. Did it to Mudgee. What a Shane just run this one.
And McDonald running bloody 37s. Quicker than both of them. So. And not to forget Brad Robinson, also running 38.
Right in behind Mudgee.
Yeah, right in behind Mudgee as well. So you can't deny Robinson's performance tonight, J-Man, to be right on the back of Mudgee the whole night.
Now, I want to touch on this Pro-Am title as well with Steve Melling, who's currently made both his stops. He's running for home. He's right on the back of McDonald after McDonald just rounds him up there. And he is currently sitting P13. He was battling Vaughan Martin, who's now out of this race. He was also battling Rusty Shackelford, who was
now out of this
race. P9. Well, he's in P19. The guy that's going to make a net gain at this point is Steve Wilton, because he's in P7. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions between them. So Steve Wilton looking for P2 in the Pro-Am Enduro battle, potentially more. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Have a look at the front of Wilton's car at the moment.
Is it not good?
He's got Sam Carson giving him all sorts of grief.
Down the inside.
Down the inside.
Yep.
Nice and neatly into the final chicane there.
Steve Melling will be happy about that pass.
Just that little bit of distance between them. It all adds up, doesn't it, J-Man? But
so what's Shane
looking like a mustard crab there?
What's Shane doing here? Because I can tell you, there's 36 and a half minutes of this race to run. He's on a wet tyre. He has one stop to make. In 15 minutes, the rain is going to reduce. Is he holding up for his last stop to grab a slick tyre for a run home? What's the ploy here? Because he is. I'm just trying to see what margin he is up the road from McDonald.
He did a 41 last lap, J-Man, compared to a 37 at John McDonald. It's massive differences in time. But he's still got a fairly hefty gap on McDonald, though, hasn't he?
So Shane's coming round.
He's coming out of the final chicane now.
And where's John?
Oh, John's still down the bottom of the hill.
Okay. So it could be still game on here. We might have sold Shane a bit short here. He may have a good strategy going here.
Yeah. And like you said, if the weather does clear, and
he's got one more stop.
Yeah, this is what I thought Alan Poole might do as well. But Alan already has done his second stop, so. But just trying to hang out for that weather change.
Shane with a big cut at a Rouge.
Yeah, he will start to find it tough, J-Man. These conditions are trying conditions at best. Like I said, Spa, tricky track, very flow, very fast, lots of dynamics to it, and tricky at the best of times. Spit of rain on it, and it just ups the levels to max. And we've seen a lot of guys run wide at a Rouge. I'm surprised we haven't seen a drive-through yet.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I sort of was expecting one already, but that was another 3 seconds net gain to John McDonald that lap. Just looking at Brad Robinson still hanging on to the back of Mark Wadray. Alan Poole has still got Chris Hinkston in tow. Those guys there. So just trying to get an idea of the pace, but I can see, unless we see a difference this lap round. No, John McDonald's still the fastest car out there in the wet.
Yeah.
Kenny Simpson in the wet, very impressive. He's a 2:38.3, so he's lapping faster than Shane, Mudgee, Brad, Alan, a lot of them. He's the second fastest car on track.
Yeah, speedway driver.
As I just jinx him and he goes and loses it at Blanchimont. Oh, no, it wasn't. I tell a lie. It was the double gauche, whatever you say it. Jesus, Ashley would correct me. If he was here, he'd tell me how to say it.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
yeah, nice measured drive from McDonald so far, Jay.
But yeah, that strategy for Dave Zero just didn't play in his favour, having gone and made both those stops early and having to come in and do a third stop and put a wet tyre on it. And that pain will escalate if we see this rain reduce shortly and he's got to grab another tyre for a fourth stop. That won't do him any favours at all. However, I guess the only saving grace is there will probably be 90% of the field would have to do the same.
Yeah.
But having said that, if we got rain in 15, that'd still leave 15 minutes to run. Could they drive 15 minutes at Spa on a wet tyre on a dry track?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No. Straight up. What do you reckon? I reckon maybe 3 laps, 4 laps?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
A couple of laps? Shit. What's that?
Phil Davison to the lane. And what's Phil up to? What's he...
Oh!
He's on a wet tyre.
I was on Jordan Moss there. Big sideways in the Aston. Back tyres on the ripple strip. J-Man.
So that's after making the pass on Farmer, and Farmer sort of just hung in there with him.
Yeah, Farmer sort of got out of it a little bit. Let him go. Farmer's car very damaged at the moment, J-Man.
Yep.
So, no, just going to pick up on same front of those car and just have a quick pit stop.
Yeah. Give us an in-car there, Davo, while you got.
Yep.
So, as we see, Shane's just coming down here to this left-hander, heading down to the double gauche here. See how this car is on the front tyres through these double lifts here. Gets it down a third, they'd probably normally be in third anyway, maybe fourth. Looks pretty tidy through there. Window wiper probably going as fast as it can. Heads down the hill. Ollie's staying a little bit away from the curbs here. He's not really using a lot of the curbs here at the moment. Oh, and he has a big lose, and he's in the... Oh, no, it was a lag spike. Apologies. Must be some Netflix going on in the background there. But, yeah, that was a spooky moment, as I'm sure you all saw. But carry on as he comes out of the right-hander, heading down towards Blanchimont here. How committed is he through these double lifts here? Oh, okay, sorry, I did miss a fourth stop from Dave. Yeah, that's obviously hurt him. Yeah, so the car looks relatively well balanced with Shane through there. Equal amount of understeer and maybe oversteer, so probably sledging in these conditions as he tucks it in tight for the final chicane. Give you a read on this lap time here. His last lap time was a 2:41. What has Shane got here? He has crossed with another 2:41, so he's lapping in that 240 to 241 bracket at the moment. We'll give you an indication of what his competitor John McDonald is doing in a minute as he crosses the line. Where is JB? JB's coming through Blanchimont now, so there's a fair bit of margin. As we mentioned, we do know Shane's got to make his final stop. 30 minutes to go in this race. Weather is likely to reduce in 5, so Shane hits a big puddle as he exits a rouge coming onto the Kimmel Straight. There's a river running across there, Davo.
Yes, there was, and wasn't that a big chunk of opposite lock? And pretty well nearly a straight line there, J-Man. But yeah, it just shows the power they're trying to put down here in seriously wet conditions at the moment here at Spa, mate.
Yeah, so I'm still optimistic about this at the moment with Shane. He's gone on the, he's the one-man army. He's out there on his own, pioneering this strategy that he's clearly in his head. Looking at that data that we've got and you guys have got there is in respect of the weather's going to reduce in 5 minutes and reduce even more in another 15.
Yeah.
Just under 30 minutes to go. Does Shane manage to run this thing down to a dry track, will there be enough time to put on a slick and drive this car fast home and hold off John McDonald, who is progressively, he made 4.25 seconds the last lap around on Shane. So every lap it's either been 2, 3 or 4 seconds that he's making, cutting into that margin. I think the best Shane could hope for at the moment is that the weather does clear up and he can maybe salvage a podium out of this, because at the moment Brad Robertson, Mark Mudgway, they're still within, what are they? They're within 3.5 seconds. So I believe that's where his fight will be. Potentially, maybe even it's between Allard and Chris, because that battle's raging on. Chris has had eyes on the back of that Merc for some time now.
And we start to wind down a little bit here. I know there's still, oh look, it's a quarter of the race to go, really. We're only down into the 28 minutes mark, but fair chunk of the race already, as we see Allard just really push the limits of the Mercedes there. But these guys, like at 75% through the race here, they will be looking to the finish line now, won't they, J-Man, and really starting to, fix those final plans in place.
And I mean, I think there's probably a little bit of, at the moment, I think everybody's in survival mode. Albeit you just said Alan was attacking that, and that, he probably is, because he's got Chris Hingston behind him. But I think for the better part, the likes of McDonald, Wharawira, Mudgway, Robertson, are just probably out there going through the motions at the moment, just trying to stay alive. Pujon? Is that Pujon? Is that how you say it, Pujon? I thought it was, I can't remember, Ash, to be honest, mate. But look, at the end of the day, Hingston with a massive moment as he comes out of Blanchimont. Proper wet out there right now, but he's certainly staying in touch with Allard at this point in time.
So still plenty to play for, J-Man. This is the final round, viewers, in the 2023 Asrnz Back Pain GT3 series, brought to you by Outdoor Effects, the decking specialists, and ABC Tech keeps us the wheels turning over here, J-Man, obviously, with all our internet stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely, and obviously long-term supporters, SJS, Superior Joint Sealing, and Gobo Racing. So, J-Man, it winds down. It is pouring rain. Do you think this is really going to clear up before the end of the race?
No, I don't see it.
It doesn't look like it.
I think potentially for the wipers to be off in clear air is a reality, but the reality, I think that the track's so wet now that it's likely going to be this for the remainder of the race, and the likelihood of a drier tyre working here, even if it did get to that point, let's say it was for the last, let's say it was 7 minutes, 8 minutes, it's not going to be long enough, because, once again, we've seen Shane drop into the 39s for the first time in a long time, but, that was off the back of, I think John's last lap was a 37. We're going to see what he runs shortly to match against Shane's 39. But I mean, he's been losing, like I said, between 2.5 and 4 seconds every lap. As John McDonald just run really wide there. These guys have got to be conscious about their track cuts. They only get, correct me if I'm wrong, viewers, but I believe it's
5, is it?
It's 5, and then you're done. So, and it's a hell of a long drive through, and with 24 minutes to go. It's a bloody
long drive through, J-Man.
That's still a reality that we're going to see some drive-throughs.
Especially with these conditions.
So once again, John's just hitting that 237 all the time, 237.1. So still made another couple of seconds on Shane that time round.
Yep.
And I don't think the Audi's got any answer given its setup. No. It was obviously a super fast car in the dry.
Yep.
So BMW just working a little bit better on the wet.
It is. And also Mudgy, like
2:38.
Yeah, 2:38 again, but did a 2:37 the lap before. So starting to trying to keep up with his teammate there, but you know, in close proximity. Brad Robinson probably do a better job than Mudgee, really, in reality, isn't he?
Yeah,
for
and
consistent
Paul
lap
was
times.
the fastest round there, but Sam Carson on a 2:35 is smashing them.
Yeah.
Jordan Moss on a 2:37. So there's some guys with some good pace out there at the moment.
Yeah.
Lucas Saar on a 2:37.1. Where was Kenny again? He was 2:49 the last lap.
Are these guys that have just started with a bit more aero, you know, like just generally, maybe? Is that enough to make a difference in these wet conditions, J-Man, you think?
Yeah, I think it is, and I've just been corrected. Thanks, Ash. It's 4 track cuts, 3 warnings, and the 4th one is a drive-through, so it's a lot less than you expect. Well, it's only 1 less than we expected, but but nonetheless, you know, I have seen some of these front runners cut multiple times, so they must be lifting and getting a no-time gain through a rouge. But like I said, it's not always a rouge. Well, Shane it's incredibly loose through Blanchimont. It's more about the like I said, it's coming down the hill. You know, it's the corners you can't lift and give back because the cut's already been done and you're already back on track. Shane through again for a 2:39.
So 2:30. And let's just check John McDonald now. John McDonald has definitely made some gains because he's halfway up the hill now, where earlier he was at the bottom, down the bottom of the hill. So
no, he's definitely made gains because he's half a second up, and he's coming through the final chicane now. Although he's absolutely,
very deep. But so for the last 20 minutes or more, J-Man, really, he has just really been making some solid gains.
2:36 plays a 2:39, so
and,
that's the
quickest we've seen, actually. I think out of the in these conditions.
Yeah, well, Sam Carson still got the fastest wet lap on a 2:35.5.
Yeah.
Adam Falconer to pit. Oh, this is his last stop.
Yeah, I think this is Falconer was the last one, and Faraday has got one more as well.
Yeah, so he has gone back out on a wet. Yeah, has gone back out on a wet. So his wet will be new, and even with the reduction in rain, that car should be pretty speedy.
So Faraday, when does he pit again? Got a little over 20 minutes to go, viewers. It's been a massive race, plenty of action throughout.
And so he's on a wet tyre. So is he actually just going for a splash and dash here?
Who's that?
Shane Faraday. Because he's on a wet tyre. Is he just splashing and dashing this? Is this? No, this potentially could be. He could be just putting some fuel in this and driving home. No tyre needed.
If the conditions stay like this, like it's 20 minutes to go.
Yep.
Which is what, 8, 9 laps or something.
Yep. So he's only got to fuel this car for 9 laps. So where is McDonald? How far back is he? So Shane's at Blanchimont now. John McDonald is coming down the hill. Nah, he's not far enough ahead.
No, not with this pit straight. Here we go. As he just runs the final chicane, stays out. Oh, J-Man.
What is he running? What's the lap time?
Let's have a look.
37.
That's a 37.0, mind you.
But John's nearly a second and a half up.
And John clearly making gains. Now.
Yep. Now, where is old mate Steve Melling, Steve Walton? There's only one car between them now. This is the fight. This is a fight for the Enduro title here, because Rusty is down in 19th. Vaughan Martin is out. So I believe Steve Melling's going to clean sweep this Pro-Am series.
35.8 for John McDonald that time round.
So still another couple of seconds. Oh, hang on. No, second. Hang on. Yeah, no, just not. Yeah, he still made gains, but not as big.
Yeah, 1.2 second or something. Yeah, so Steve Melling and Steve Wilton, did you say, J-Man?
Yep.
So Melling just around T1. That car is broken. Wilton's car, I'm surprised it's still running. Look at the front of it.
So who's he got behind him?
Now he's Lucas Saar behind, but well behind, Joe, man.
Well behind. John McDonald's just rounded him up as a lapper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Poole. Now, where was Sam Carson? Oh, he's still got eyes on. He's Sam Carson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Ash. I think JB will comfortably get him. Sam Carson still got eyes on Alan Poole. So this is a great drive from 778 from Sam Carson. Spoke about him during qualifying about the laps I watched him drive during the official practice and said about how smooth I thought this guy was.
Yeah.
Clearly showing, because I mean he just punched out another 235 140.
Yeah.
So once again,
quickest car on track. And, now we saw him tailing the Brad Robinson Mudgeweight battle for over half an hour throughout this race, and definitely had pace enough to keep up with those boys, but it really has been this top 5, or no, it's actually 6 or 7 guys that have really been in the mix the whole race, right back to Hingston. Even Jordan Moss, no slouch tonight, so
So who's that? Oh, okay, so that's still the Lucas Saar car behind McDonald. So Fodado went across again for
he's gone around again.
237.2
as he runs down the hill to Arouge for another run. 17 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Looks.
I might add, he's only got 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes in the pit window.
Pit window. That's right. That's right. And damn, it looks slippery down there. So John McDonald round T1. Florida just going through the first chicane.
Yeah, so John McDonald, that lap was a 5-1 as well. So
so he's nearly matching
Luke to Sam Carson's
times now. So and I don't think the rain's eased off, J-Man. The cars are coming back to him with the lighter fuel loads, you think?
Yeah, and Steve Melling lapping in the 237s as well. So Steve Melling's lapping at great pace. So I feel like he's got Adam Falconer not far behind him. So that's a real battle there. That's going on. That's legitimate for track position. That's P11 and P12. So another real standout job from Steve-O.
Oh, absolutely.
Dave Zero's just rounding up Lachlan Andrews by the look of it, coming down the hill, just trying to get this job done. But that is actually legitimate for position. So
that is for position there. So Lachlan, all the right in the world there, just to hold his ground. Has Dave Zero's car got the pace? It has been damaged throughout the race.
He's comfortably got the pace. Lachlan's last lap was a 2:43. Dave's was a 2:36. So. Although Dave Zero runs wide at Blanchimont there, so just struggling to find the line underneath the big bloody wing of that BMW right now.
Yes, and Lachlan's car actually looking fairly tidy too, so he's kept himself out of trouble, and that car's looking immaculate.
Yeah, and he's in P14. He's doing a bloody good job in trying conditions. So
nice work from Lachlan. With Dave Zero, with no amount of pressure on the back. As they run down the hill towards Arouge, we'll just look over the back of the wing here again a little bit longer. See if Dave can shoot it out of Arouge here and get a run up the hill. Get under that massive wing. Get that slip, J-Man.
As they hit the puddle, the river running across the road, he's well close enough. He's well close enough. He's going to have a go here. Yeah, well down the inside. Gets it stopped, makes the apex. The car's still there.
Yeah,
No,
nicely done. Yeah, nicely done.
Okay, so Shane went across the line on a 2:37.0. John McDonald went across on a 2:34.5.
Wow, now it's getting quick. Windscreen wipers still ablaze, so still very, very wet out there, J-Man.
Yep. What was Mudway's time? 2:36.
Here we go, Mudgy just coming across now.
Okay, was his last lap time. He's now come across at a 2:35.5.
Yep.
So you'd have to think that, I think Mark Mudway is very much in the hunt to try and chase down Shane here.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, these guys want to 1-2, but just the way Mudway's responding, he's actually ditched Brad Robinson even.
Yep.
And pulled away. So he's got his head down there, J-Man. Eyes forward. We've got look, under 5 minutes to go for pit window. J-Man, 13 minutes to go in the race. So Shane must.
He's coming this one or the next one for sure.
Really start thinking about, bringing this Audi in.
So we're going to get to see what happens at the top end of town, guys and girls. We are definitely approaching the final stages of this race to see what happens. I think Shane's probably, he has to just grab enough fuel to run home.
He's got another couple of laps he can do.
Was this one maybe? Yeah, but given his location on the track, he has probably got 2 laps. Chooses this lap.
Pulls it in.
Okay. And John McDonald is
on his way up the hill. He's easily got
He's actually heading into Blanchimont now, so he's comfortably got it. Where is Mudgy? Okay, Mudgy's still coming down the hill, yeah.
So Mudgy might not make it.
Massive pit lane though. As Ash mentioned, this pit lane would probably. Would this be the biggest pit lane on the calendar, Ash? Surely.
Oh,
it is huge.
It like Spa's a long lap, and it's nearly a bloody lap. It seems like it anyway to watch it. As we see John McDonald, J-Man, down into T1.
Yeah, with another 4.2, so he's...
Faraday not even on the jack, still trundling down pit lane. Easily pips him.
I think Mudgy's in this. I think Mudgy's in the fight.
He's definitely in this because he is up into the chicane, the final chicane, and across the start and finish line, J-Man.
With Brad Robinson on tow.
Not even on the pit blocks yet, mate. Brad Robinson might get this as well.
Where is Allard Poole? Allard Poole's not that far behind them either. So he's on the blocks. And he's off the blocks, he's going.
Here we go. Much away down the hill.
Oh, it's going to be close. No, they're going to get him. They're going to get him.
And Brad Robinson here. This is going to be close, J-Man, for Robinson.
Very, very close. Has he got the pace? He's got the pace up the chute. He has got the pace up the chute. That relegates Shane Faraday down to P4, 5. 4.
But that's Poole right behind him, J-Man. You can see that Mercedes.
So that gives McDonald a huge lead with 10 minutes to go on this race. A minute 45 to go in the pit lane. Has everybody done their stops? I believe they have.
Yeah, and that is Sam Carson, J-Man, in 6th position, and he's right there in amongst that.
And can I tell you, he was been running 2:32s. Yep. So he is still the fastest car on track.
That thing is honking. Look at these guys. We have under 10 minutes to go, and look at how tight this field's just got, J-Man.
Incredibly. We always say it always comes down to the last 7 minutes and this field bunches up.
Yeah, so McDonald up the road, but Mudgeway, Robinson, Faraday, Allard Poole.
There's the fight right there.
Sam Carson, that is on.
Yeah, that is going to just, Shane will want to make inroads into Brad here. What has he got? Brad Robinson was actually the fastest car out of the top 3 the last lap around by some margin, by the better part of nearly a second. Brad's got pace.
He needs to be. I think he needs to be with Buttado. Buttado wants a podium here, J-Man. He's worked the whole race for it.
He has. He's led a big portion of this race.
Oh, it's Alan gets really wide. That lets Carson through.
Carson through.
Oh, he'll be dirty.
And this is the guy with the pace. He just ran a 233.
I can't see Alan. Pit window closed there now, J-Man. I can't see Alan Poole matching Carson's pace at the moment in the Mercedes. I just can't see it. I think Carso's, what a great chance there for Carson. Puts himself in fifth position. What a great drive from Carson tonight. McDonald in first and out in front nicely. Big gap back to Mudgeway. Robinson in third. Mate, if Brad can hold on to this, what a fantastic effort from Brad if he can pull this off.
An absolute 2-hour effort.
Mate, Shane Buttado in fourth. He will want that back, J-Man. He wants that podium. Carlson just slipped in front of Alan Poole after a bit of a slip. Next level. And then there's a big gap. Back to Hingston. Back to Moss. There's plenty of space between these cars. Lucas Saar holding down 10th position. Awesome work from Lucas in 10th position in the Ferrari, J-Man.
Yeah, doing a great job.
Melling just out of reach of the top 10 in 11th. Jake McKellar out. Adam Faulkner in 12th. Dave 0 in 13th. Tough race for Dave again.
Sam Carson's coming, mate. He's 6 tenths up on his PB at the moment. 8 tenths up. He's coming for Shane. It's not done.
He's coming. Kenny Simpson in 14th. Lachlan Andrews in 15th. Bobby Laycock 16th. We've had a few retire, but we still have Brennan in the mix. Still have Phil Davison in the mix. Plenty going on, J-Man.
Oh, there is. And I'll tell you, look at the margin that Sam Carson has made on Shane Buttado in half a lap.
He's all over him.
What's the lap times? Shane comes through on a 233. Sam Carson on a 231. Fastest car on track again.
Now, we've seen this for the last 10 minutes, J-Man, at least. Look at the line.
Yeah, it's got pace. He's got pace. The car's got pace. He's still got time. Who's that? Is that Rusty Shackelford in the lane? Rusty Shackelford in the lane for a late stop. I tell you what, the rain's stopping in 15 minutes. By the time that happens, someone will be spraying champagne.
It's not soon enough, mate. Yeah, that's right. You just see these guys aquaplane as
Brad
they run.
Robinson still got eyes on Mudgee. Sam Carson still got eyes on Shane. As they come into the chicane off the back of Kimmel Straight, expect this lap here. This is the lap I think Sam Carson needs to be assertive now that he's got there.
Mate, they've got 2 or 3 laps here to go. They've got to get this done.
Where is the leader in relation to the lap time?
No, they're going to only have 2.
I think they've only got 2 laps to go.
They've got 2, yeah.
As the run down the hill's good from Sam, he's looking where to go as they come into the double left.
Oh, it looks like Buttado looks like he's in damage control here, J-Man.
He is.
Really does not have the pace of that Aston at the moment. He's found himself back there amongst that pack that I don't think he really wants to be there. And that car not performing at this end of the race.
No, well, we saw him. It's just so fast in the dry, and then that setup, because we know how good Shane is behind the wheel, but that setup just really not responding to these conditions.
No.
As we see him, just look how much more track he has to use.
And we've seen Carson just literally just go ballistic in the rain. That car is right for the rain.
Can he round him up around the outside of Francorchamps? He's out there. He's out there already.
He's looking
He's
for
already there. He's already passed him. It's done.
Whoa!
It's done.
Wow, David! What a move! What a move!
Even Shane probably could respect that as Allard ranges right up on the back of Shane into the final bus stop chicane.
Yeah, Shane would have had to go down that a little bit, and Allard just taking advantage of that now. He has got all sorts of trouble from the Allard Pool Mercedes. And Allard down the inside straight away. There's no mucking around. I want it now. And
he's like, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait.
Shane, gives us.
Oh, he's got the horsepower down the chute.
How'd they make this work?
This is going to be
somebody had to yield because it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in the dry, J-Man.
Both of them would have got a cut there.
Up the hill.
It's on. It's on. The Mercedes sitting underneath the wing of the Audi.
There will be one more lap after this, viewers.
Meantime, 34 seconds out in the green is John McDonald over the team car of Mark Budgeway, who's still got that ever-present pressure from Brad Robinson.
Mate, that is like a 1 hour and 50 minute battle. Seriously.
Yeah, these guys should team up.
Oh, man. And Sam Carson.
He's coming. He's still coming. He's 8 tenths up. He's still coming.
He's chasing those boys down.
He's only 2.6 seconds off the back of Sam. Sam Carson is off the back of Brad Robinson, so he's still coming.
Look at the gain he has got on Fonado already.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Does he have enough time to grab a podium?
I don't even think Allard Poole has enough in that Mercedes to get in front of though. I don't think he's just going to let that go, and he's just can't go any further. No more. Doors shut, Allard. I'm not letting any more through. So, watch that space.
Sam Carson, 8 tenths up. It's down to 1.7 seconds. It was 2.6.
Wow, and look at the pace. He's gaining on him.
McDonald started the final lap.
John McDonald, J-Man called it way back, way early in the race. Might have just slotted into that right sequence of pit stop with the tyre, with the rain. And there he is.
Robinson on the back of Mudgeway. Carso almost to the back of Brad Robinson.
Unbelievably in half a lap, J-Man.
Yep.
Impressive stuff.
2 hours. 2 hours it took him to get to this point.
John McDonald, like you said, just what an epic drive. Taking it to his teammate, just probably doesn't have enough to take the championships.
Adam Faulkner just steps wide of these leaders and lets them go.
Nice work from Falco there. But Mudgy looking like he's going to take out this Season 1 2023 Back Pain GT3 Series for Asrnz, J-Man. Looking awesome in second position. Brad Robinson giving him grief the whole round. Sam Carson's coming in hot. He wants a part of this that gets sprayed with the champagne too. He wants Brad Robinson.
Not much to make on the Camel Straight, but we know how well this car's working down the hill and all through all the switchback tight corners.
Isn't it? Shane Flanagan, Allard Poole right behind. Chris Hingston has Jordan Moss.
Oh, he does, all over him.
Aren't these Asrnz coming on strong at the end of the run?
Yeah, Aston's good at wet. Brad Robinson attacking Mark Mudgeway. It's not done. It is not done.
Absolutely not. John McDonald just rounds it down the bottom of the hill as he starts to wind the Marmite BMW up the hill. Final time, 2 hours. Epic enduro at Spa here. J-Man, his teammate in second. It's got to hold out Brad Robinson.
Brilliant drive from these guys. They'll be spent. You know, we talk about enduros, and some might argue that 2 hours. Oh, Brad Robinson with a big lose. Sam Carson's going to have a big lead.
John McDonald with a big lose into the final game. Sorry, Jay. It's all happening.
Sam Carson, congratulations, John McDonald. Sam Carson down the inside, heading down to
Brad Robinson. Congratulations, John McDonald. Here we go. Sam Carson's going to get this podium position. J-Man.
Yeah, barring a mistake, it blows him on through the double lefts here and down into the bus stop chicane. Comes down. He's still looking forward to Mudgee. Still attacking deep under brakes down into the chicane. Mudgee, all he's got to do is get out of this corner nice and clean.
Yeah.
Brilliant drive from Sam Carson. What is the lap time? He ran a 2:30.7 the last lap, 2:31.3 there. Brilliant. There is your podium. John McDonald, Mark Mudgee, Sam Carson, Brad Robertson makes up 4th. Shane Conato brings it home in 5th. Alan Poole in 6th. Jordan Moss.
On his way up the hill still in behind Chris Hingston, actually. Hingston's got past.
Okay, so, our leaderboard hasn't updated there.
Yeah, so they haven't come across the timing marks yet. So Hingston in front of Moss for 7th. Moss in 8th. Just got to get this around the corner here.
It's going to be a photo finish.
Oh, look at how close this is.
What is going on here? Who got it? It was Hingston over Moss by a bee's dick.
Wow. Steve Wilton on his way up to the This is not over yet.
Good stuff. As we see Farmers just coming around the final chicane to round out P9, and that he will be your last runner on that final lap. There. Well done, Bum, for a P9. Lucas Saar rounds out the 10th. Steve Melling for a brilliant 11th. I think that will see him take a clean sweep of not only the sprint enduro but the overall titles. That will be yet to be confirmed. We'll bring you an update during the week on that. Adam Falconer in P12. Dave Zero gets back to P13 after 4 stops. Adam Falconer in P13. Dave Zero in 12th. Lachlan Andrews. And we might just have a little bit of a shuffle there. We may have a little bit of a shuffle because Adam Falconer may have... Oh no, he was 12th. Lachlan Andrews 13th. Bobby Laycock 14th. Kenny Simpson comes home in 15th. Brendan Rolfe in 16th. Takes out the AM title overall, I believe. And I think he's done enough to take out the Enduro title as well. So well done to B-Dog. Rusty Shackelford in P17. Vaughan Martin, Phil Davison, Bear Grylls, Josh Vertiger. All casualties of Spa, unfortunately. So condolences to those guys. But appreciate all the attendance. Appreciate all the support throughout the series. That is awesome, Davo. I think we should capture the moment and get up there and grab Brad Robinson. Will be first.
Please do, Jay, man.
Cab off the rank.
Epic stuff.
So we'll grab him while he's still pumped up about this one. Brad Robinson, you got us. Oh, hang on. Was it Brad?
Yeah, mate. I came 4th, mate. I don't think you need to be talking to me.
Sorry, mate. Our data didn't update late at the end. Well done, though, mate.
Sam took me out, mate.
He did too. Sorry.
Cheeky bugger.
That's right. It was Carso. Where is Carso?
Come on, J-Man.
We did see that.
Get with the program.
We actually did see that. It was beautiful. Sam Carson, you got us on comms.
Carso.
You got us there, Carso?
Yeah. Come on. Nice work. Last lap, bro.
Matey, are you still with us? Are you got any energy left to talk to us?
Oh, that was, full on. What a race.
Hey,
what a race.
Talk about the quickest car on freaking track tonight in the rain. My God. Dude.
What a stellar drive for the last 40-odd minutes, mate. We saw you coming, and talk us through that last late move with Brad Robinson, mate. Talk us through that.
So we were actually on comms on our team channel, and he saw me in his mirrors. He was feeling the pressure, and he just made a tiny little error, and managed to get on the acceleration a little bit earlier than him, and grabbed third position.
Nice. It didn't look like he handed it over too easily, though. He made to work.
No. He was upset. You could hear him on the comms like, "Oh no."
Because it looks spectacular from up here, mate. And yeah, nice racing towards the end of the race there, mate. Awesome in the rain.
Yeah,
Thanks
great.
so much.
Yeah, great strategy. And so you're clearly a bit of a wet specialist, Sam, or?
I do enjoy a bit of wet racing, and then I kind of needed it as well because I lost pace very early on. I think about 45 minutes in, and I just had nothing, and I was just falling away from Brad and Mudgy, and then the wet kind of saved me.
Yeah. So we saw you in the opening stanza of that. You ran with those guys like comfortably. You ran with them. And then we did see a portion there where you fell off and you came under attack, I think, maybe from Hingston, I think.
Yeah.
And we sort of saw it go away from you, but then it came back. So, man, what an absolute stellar drive. And, we couldn't help but see the data light up that, we were pretty excited about the times that John McDonald was posting against Shane Fodderdo in the battle for the lead on pit road. But then we got this, you got the green lights coming up with what you were doing, and we could see you were coming. And just the intent,
you were quicker
mate,
than both of them. So
yeah, just unbelievable, mate. And like, if that's not what a sim racer signs up for, I don't know what is, man. That's just an absolute stellar drive. So congratulations, Sam.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you for running this whole season. It's been wicked. What a way to finish it off.
You're welcome, mate. And I've just got a smile on my dial, mate, from that drive. That was just sublime.
It's the first time we've had you up here this season, Sam?
No, I got a podium, just third place at Imola earlier in the season.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, it's been more just kind of trying for the top 10.
They're hard fought, aren't they? Like a podium, and it's just so hard in this series at the moment.
Well, the top. I mean, in this race, the top 13 was within 0.9 of a second. So it's just so competitive. So trying to get up the front is a struggle.
Yeah.
Well, mate, we absolutely enjoyed watching you tonight. It was a super well-deserved third place, of which you
absolutely
had to race the better part of 2 hours to gain. So congratulations to you, mate. And good luck trying to sleep tonight, because I'd say you'll ride that high for a little while.
Oh, I'm going to go and have a meal and watch the race. I won't be sleeping for a while.
Awesome.
No, good on you, Carso.
That's what we want to hear.
Love what we saw, mate, and appreciate your support.
Cheers, brothers.
Oh, mate. Well, there you go. So that was Sam Carson. Okay, so the next guy that we're going to bring in is Mark Mudgway, and there's a few accolades to give to this guy. Mudgy, you got us on comms?
Yeah, copy, boys.
Mate, what a race. What a race. Like, you had a miracle the whole way, mate. Talk us through that.
I was just talking to Brad Dan, just congratulating him on just an epic battle. Just at that first stint of that race, like I was about 5th, and JB was crawling forward, and I was like, I was trying to stay with JB. That was the mission for the whole race, and I just couldn't let Brad pass. So if I knew I let him pass, then the rest of them would come through, and I just defended like my life depended on it.
Yeah, so very, very nice, clean, measured race from both of you guys. Hey, it was so nice to watch.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that was a little bit surprising. I actually wasn't very confident going into the race. Like the car with the BOP, I just had nothing for JB. That's who I was racing, JB. That's who I was measuring against. That was who I was trying to stay with. I had to stay within 7 spots of him. And I just didn't have the confidence in the car with the BOP on it.
And he was confident though going into it.
Yeah, he was. Yes. Yeah, and he kept telling me.
Yeah, he told everybody.
Yeah, he plays the game. He plays the game really well.
He plays the mind game. He does, mate. Like I've been around him long enough, and I know how he operates.
Yeah. No, you're no stranger to JB's antics and tactics. He's a true professional.
He's a true competitor. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we love that. I love that, and he loves it, and that's what it's all about. It's just as mental as it is physical.
But so tell me, you knew the positions, right, that you had to have between you going into this calculated?
Yep.
The 7 positions. Yep.
7. And if I was 8th, and then I wouldn't win the championship. So
yeah. Now look, I quoted these stats to the viewers earlier on. I'm going to quote them to you again. So the Mudgee stats really, and I'm going to pump your tires up a little bit here, bud, because you know we are good mates as well off track, and
yeah,
you know, I've watched you for a long time, and I feel like there was a breakout season a couple of seasons ago that just didn't finish the way that it started and it should have, and I feel like you've delivered on this one. This is the first time that you've really given us your undivided on a Thursday night, and it's proven, you know, 3 race wins, 5 times on the podium in 10 rounds. You've only been off the podium, so you've only been out of the top 10 twice in the season, 1 pole position. We saw in the Enduro series that you started 1 from pit lane, and within the first lap of another race you basically on lap 1 were at the rear of the field. So it takes a lot of tenacity to be able to drive these drives that you've given this season. And I know you, bro. Like, I know you at the end of this, you'll be like, man, I'm grateful that I did this, and it's a great achievement because, you know, it's not easy to get your name on that plaque and it be etched in the history of, you know, who's gone the top spot. But in the same token, I know you'll be like looking for a breather at the end of this.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty committed season, right? So
it's very, very committed. Like, yeah, I'll be back for the fun series. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. But no, we commend you, mate. Like, just an absolute stellar season.
Absolutely.
You drove, you know, like when, you know, I'm going to mention it when the OES boys were here. You know, the likes of Vic and stuff. You know, you were the guy that was taking to them. You know, when in the early part when JB and Farmer, as far as the breakfast crew goes, you were the leading breakfast crew car all season, realistically. And it shows at the back end. You know, you've really put this thing together, drove that BMW beautifully, and you deserve every accolade you get, mate. So congratulations from us, and I'm pretty sure from everybody watching that they all think the same. So congratulations, mate.
Yeah, cool. I'll just do a little shout out to the BC boys actually while you mentioned that. Because yeah, it was a team effort. Like, there was calls made earlier. I think I touched on it in the last race, but there was calls made earlier in the season where positions were swapped, or even JB, you know, he moved over for me where I think it was Donington. I was super fast. Farmer did it. Having JB, who's won multiple times championships, he's been in my ear. He's probably been like a key token, like having him in my ear about the consistency and doing this and doing that, and
bit of a coach. You think?
Having him on the side, working with those boys more this season. I think it's had a major part of it.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a great strategist too, John, and like, you know, having been a part of that team that you're in, you know, and driven with John Boy and that, he is very, very good, as is Farmer. Farmer's a good calming influence to have around as well. He's a pretty cool customer.
100%. Yeah, you know? especially when we're trying to make calls on the fly. Farmer's like, no, don't do that. Yep, do that.
So really great effort by the team. And hey, and on a parting note too, I just want your opinion, just based now that it's been said and done. I could obviously ask you a lot of things about the season, but I'm just going to pick on this race. And the way that it played out, you know, you went out on a green track, the qualifying was different, the practice session was different. What's your take on the way that the weather played out tonight, and you know, like your personal opinion on the conditions you ran tonight? Was it good? Was it bad?
Well, it was good for me because I had the BOP on. You could see at the first half of the race, I was just getting monstered. And then as soon as it started to rain, I actually had something to answer with because the cars weren't as fast. So for me, it was good. For the other boys, whether I don't know. I think they were all pretty sore. 2 hours around here. I know I'm sore. I think Farmer, he was almost crying. Like he said it, in the last couple of laps. He says, "Oh, I'm getting out of the sim rig as soon as I go across this line." So it was hard work. But yeah, good fun.
Yeah, it's a long run, and that's a proper enduro, isn't it? And nice way to finish off the year.
Yep. Just the season in general. I think having the varied conditions, having hot tracks, medium hot tracks, wet races, wet to dry, dry to wet. It's spiced it up, and it's made it more interesting, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. Well done, Mudgee. Like I said, mate, you do deserve every accolade you get, mate, because that's just a standout season. And yeah, looking forward to seeing more of the Vegemite car or whatever You know, it is the turn up in.
Whatever,
But,
whatever suit gets turned up in next time.
Also, just a big shout out to you two boys. Thank you for, we're all on track racing, but you guys are there doing the same amount of work, or more so than what we are. So thank you to you two. Really appreciate it.
You guys make it easy, bro. Really, you know, it's pretty easy to turn up and call stuff like what we saw tonight, and I'm sure you'll get to watch it and really probably relive the whole thing and see how intense that was. Like, that was probably by far the best Enduro to call ever for me, because it started from lap 1.
It was pretty full on. It was pretty full on. And yeah, like J-Man said, like you guys put on the show, mate. You know, we just talk about it, and thanks for the accolades, mate. But,
no, thank you, boys. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
But you guys are the stars. And again, well done, Mudgy. We've been rooting for you all week, all year, all season, mate. So good stuff. Appreciate it.
Good one, Mudge. Go and have a coldie, mate. You deserve it, and we'll talk in a bit.
Okay, thanks, boys.
Cheers, brother.
Mark Mudge away, J-Man. Deserved winner for
absolutely.
Season one. There you go.
Yeah, did it convincingly in the end with a really, really good drive, and that brings us to our next guy, who absolutely
needs no introduction, really.
No, this guy's no stranger down here. JB, you got us on comms?
Yes, hello.
Mate, congratulations. We've just had your teammate down here and pumped his tyres up for what was an awesome season, a championship, and I talked to you early in the week, and you've backed him up. This is a 1-2 for you and Mudgy in the overall. Obviously a great victory out there tonight. Talk me through the strategy, mate, and give me a bit of detail about how that thing played out with the weather conditions, where your head was at with stops and tyres and fuel, and give us an insight to what JB dealt with tonight.
He's just pouring more champagne.
Sorry, I was pushing the wrong button. There we go. First of all, congratulations to Mudgy. Well deserved on that championship. He had a pretty clean run, and it was nice to do that as a team there. I think last time we did a 1-2 was at Zandvoort. In similar conditions in the wet too.
Yeah, probably.
So at the end there, but awesome race, and stoked for Mudgy, stoked for the team. So the race, how did that play out? Try and do a good job in quali, put it up the top end, and keep out of trouble on the first lap. And got a good start, really, and had a bit of side-by-side stuff there, which was a bit nerve-wracking up the top after a rouge down the straight.
Isn't it what?
But we came out all right. It was nice to see dry at the start, to be honest. And then we had a good battle with Elliot there in the early stages, and I saw Shane gapping away. I knew I had pace to run with Shane, but just held up a little bit there and used a lot of tyre. Once I got past Elliot, I managed to gap away quite nicely and maintained a bit of a gap, like pretty much halfway between Shane and I gave it a real big push and really pushed hard to make Shane push.
It looked like your tyre went away though.
It did. Lost the front near the. I was getting close to the halfway mark. At the pit stop. And I thought, oh, I'm going backwards here now. And when I realised I was starting to lose time, I knew it was time for me to stop then, and it wasn't the halfway point where I wanted to be. To make sure that I had the gas right and stuff like that, the fuel. But look, we went early, and I thought, oh well, actually, this is probably a good chance to actually undercut on a hot tyre, on a new fresh tyre. And when I went out, I started doing the quickest laps straight away. So I knew I had made the right choice there until I saw it in 15 minutes it was going to rain. And,
okay, so that was the next point I want to touch on, because you pulled in the lane when it started to rain.
No, I pulled in the lane. It was still dry, but it said that it was going to rain in 15 minutes or something. So as I was pulling into the rain, the lane for my instead of dries again, I thought, oh shit, there's a rain symbol. But but I realised actually it didn't really matter too much because I was fueling for tyre, another slick tyre, and fueling to the end, and I still had my splash lap.
Oh, yep.
So I knew when the rain came, I just needed to go into the pits
And do your splash.
and put the wet tyre on and the 1 litre of fuel.
Yep.
And then just run that, because if it rained the whole way home, I was going to be sweet because I had enough fuel to get home.
Yep.
So I just waited until it rained, and the crucial point there was that when I got off my first set of tyres and got onto the new set of slicks on the grippy track, I just was making massive time on that tyre.
Yeah, we noticed.
So yeah, I played it pretty good, and then it was working to drive in the rain, man. It was sketch, but once you got used to it, it was.
Oh, mate, you were pushing. It looked like you were full drifting it up the hill there, and a couple of the spots. It looked great.
So were you aware of the margins, John, at that point when Shane was out there, still 1 stop to make? You're both on a wet tyre. Shane's lapping 240s, 241, 42s. You're lapping 237s. Are you aware of that?
No, I didn't know what my pace was in the wet compared to anyone else. I was just talking to the boys, and I knew, and I saw Mudgy going further back behind me, and I thought, oh, maybe I've got a bit of pace in the rain, but I didn't really know what my pace was compared to other people.
He had plenty of grief from Brad Robinson the whole race. So.
Oh my God! Like seriously, like.
So what was the pace that I had in the wet tyre? I don't know.
Look.
Well, you were 2 seconds. You were 2 seconds quicker than Shane most laps.
Up to 4 seconds some laps.
Oh, holy shit! I didn't realise.
Yeah. But then Sam Carson was another 2 seconds quicker than you.
Wow! Awesome.
Yeah, incredible. Just super fast.
Yeah, like the cool part that you've got, mate, is you're super successful tonight out there doing your thing. And, you know, there's a fair bit talking about the margins that you work in, because we could see early on the piece, once again, that whole McDonald's strategy came into play. And albeit you made it sound like it wasn't planned, it seems like every week you turn up with something that seems to work. I'm not sure about that. We'll have a talk to you tomorrow about that off. Yeah,
Maybe not Bathurst.
Yeah, look, you had to go at something, so it's all good. But nonetheless, you know, your strategy was cool, but there's some great watching for you outside of the fact of your successes tonight. But look, Mudgy did give you a bit of a shout out too, mate, and we're just going to touch on that, you know, I have personally been a part of this team in my racing days, and you guys do a really, really professional job of supporting each other yourself. You know, you, Farmer, Mudgy, Nick, Jeff when he's in there, that whole breakfast crew atmosphere and the professionalism that you guys bring to sim racing is first class. You know, like the support that you get inside that team and the information that gets delivered really shows, you know, because you've obviously backed it up tonight with a great race win. You backed it up in the championship overall with a 1-2.
Yeah.
So it's a great effort, mate, and you know, we congratulate you on just such a solid effort, mate. So well done on what was initially going to be a season where you were very, very busy and try to turn up where you can, and you've come home with some silverware. So well done, John McDonald.
Oh yeah, no, and thank you to you two lightning rods there in the comms box, firing bullets everywhere. It's great to you know, sit back and watch it back as drivers and you know, see it from another point of view. And,
hey, and we really do appreciate the sponsorship from Outdoor Effects this year. You know, it goes a long way to helping the wheels turn. We do really appreciate it. It's, you know, it's always a nice moment when somebody jumps on board, so we do appreciate that as well. So John's obviously the director.
John is Outdoor Effects, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, we do appreciate that, and thanks, John. But like we said to Mudgy, mate, you guys are the stars. We just talk about you guys, and you guys really do put on the show, and you did it again tonight. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad.
You make our job easy, and it was fantastic to watch, mate. You know, as always.
I was well aware as well that there was a lot of battles in the Pro-Am. I'd love to know how that actually played out too. So I'm pretty keen to see how Farmer our other breakfast crew guy,
Yes.
got up through there, and how that panned out. There's lots of stories all through the.
There is.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
That's the cool thing. Everyone's got a bit to play for, don't they?
There is a lot to play for. There is plenty of competitions and plenty of silverware to gather throughout this season. So, definitely loved it.
Yeah, so well done to John McDonald. I've got a couple more interviews to poke through, so hopefully I'll get to catch up for a bit of a chat off air, John boy, because I think that there's a lot to dissect, mate. So thank you for that, and enjoy it, mate. You're well deserved.
Nice way to go out.
Awesome, mate.
Good on you. Nice work. Good on you. John McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Who are we going to get? Brad Robinson or
no, it's Chris Hingston. No, so I've got Chris Hingston down here. You got comms on us, Chris?
Yeah, g'day guys. How you going?
G'day, mate. Hey, congratulations, mate, tonight on a just an absolute effort to manage to get through that. And by my calculations, I'm pretty sure you have taken the top spot for the Enduro Championship. If I'm mathematically correct. So I am going to give you some accolades for that, mate, on what was a very, very good season for you as far as the Enduros go as well. So how was tonight for you, mate, to start with?
Yeah, certainly not my best race of the season, that's for sure. I was struggled even in the dry. I wasn't sort of on my game for some reason, just couldn't quite get it together. And then it rained, of course, and then I was really, really struggling. Towards the end, I was barely just keeping on the track. So, yeah, just getting home was a bit of an achievement tonight.
So where'd you finish in that one tonight? Like, what was the end result? So much data in front of me.
To be honest, I'm not even sure. 7th or 8th, maybe.
Okay. So that just stacks up. So I'm just going to run you through. Paul Ricard, first with a pole. Bathurst, second. Monza, promoted through late, race controls decisions. You got a third there. So on the podium for the first 3 rounds, and then takes a second at Spa. So that's a convincing effort. So one could argue Enduros are your forte, my friend.
Well, I wasn't there for most of the sprint rounds, so yeah, I don't know how it would have gone there, but I don't know. I think Enduro, I just treat them as a long sprint race. Really, there's 2 sprint races put together with 1 pit stop in there to change the tyres.
Yeah.
Tonight was probably a bit more Enduro than an hour because you're really pushing the tyres to the limits at an hour stretch. So, but otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm any specialist Enduro racer or anything, but
very, very basic.
We're looking forward to the opportunity of seeing you in a sprint race then, mate. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, well, we'll see, eh?
Yeah, but even the simplest of strategies can be the best sometimes, with this sort of stuff. And you obviously showed, because we see you 3 podiums throughout the out of 4 races. So, that speaks for itself, Chris.
My whole strategy is try and be as consistent as I can and make sure I'm there at the end.
Yeah, stay on the track. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, in the wet there, I was down to 3 track warnings, I think, because I just kept slipping off, and I wasn't gaining time, but
tough conditions. Yeah, you were gaining time, but you're still falling off. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so a lot of good battles out there for you tonight. We did see the car on camera a fair bit, especially in the early phases. You were certainly engaged in a fair few battles. What was your take? Just love hearing the opinions, good or bad, on the way that shook out tonight as far as the whole strategy, the whole plan. I'm referencing the practice session, the quali, and then the race, obviously with the varying conditions. How did you find it? Was it good? Was it bad? Did you enjoy it?
I wouldn't say I enjoy those kind of races. I prefer when it's just a nice, straight one set of conditions. So it's sort of set your car up, and that's I'm fairly new to the game, so I guess I'm adjusting on the spot to changes, and getting the tyre pressures right is still guesswork for me. So sort of at the end there, the tyres are quite overinflated. So yeah, I mean, I don't like those kind of races, but that's just my lack of experience, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I adjusted as well as I could, I guess. And I mean, I didn't go out for the start of quali. I thought I'll let other people go out and dry the track out and lay a bit of rubber down for me.
Yeah.
Sort of come out later in quali, and
Yeah, no, we saw a little bit of that, and I suppose you just drive to your own limits, I suppose, don't you? You know, like, and do the best you can.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, well, look, congratulations. Like I said, we dragged you down here because you've clearly been the most consistent, successful guy in the enduro side of things at the top end of town in that pro class, which is by no, just the fact that you're in the pro class says that you've got the skill and the ability. So, we're gonna give you the accolades there for that. So well done on an enduro series. I really, really am looking forward to seeing you string together a full one, because you've clearly proven that you're at the top end of town. So looking forward to seeing more of you, Chris. So hopefully we get to see you in obviously the 2 interim series and a bit more GT3s later in the piece.
Yeah, I'll more than likely be there. Hope so anyway.
Awesome,
we
mate.
hope so.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome, Chris.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Chris.
your night, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers. See ya.
Buddy.
Mr. Chris
All right.
Hingston, there, J-Man.
Yep, and so the next guy I'm going to drag down, I believe, I'm pretty sure calculations-wise, Steve Melling got us on comms.
Yeah, mate. Hey, guys.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with, mate, I'm pretty sure you've done the clean sweep. I think you may be the only guy to do it this season. I haven't done the maths on the Enduros, but I think you have. But you certainly already won the initial title and then the overall title. You already had that, and I'm pretty sure tonight sealed the deal on an Enduro title, mate.
Almost. I forgot Farmer won the sprint championship.
Sorry, Farmer did get the sprint. Sorry, apologies.
He got the sprint, and I had the overall almost tied up. I just needed to turn up and finish the race. But I definitely had eyes on. Was it Adam? Not Adam. No. Rusty.
Yeah.
So I think Rusty told me afterwards he needed to be 3 or 4 positions in front of me.
And he binned it.
To get it. And he binned it in front of me.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah. So we were on track.
It's like a fist pump for all the wrong reasons there.
I was too. I felt for him. I was gutted for him. Because that curve on the outside up on the region just rode it a little bit. And there's so many paces where there was a little bit of standing water. And you had to straighten the wheel, lift off the throttle, get over it. Well, same as the curves. Anywhere it was wet, it's like, I'm not finding out if there's not enough grip on that curve. I'm just lifting.
Yeah, and you only need the slightest amount of lateral grip on the car, like lateral load on the car. And it just goes crazy up the hill there, like out of Rouge. So you could see it, like even when you guys went on the ripple strip, you could see the cars moving around a lot from the in-cast footage. So it looked pretty scary, actually.
Well, end of the day, mate, congrats, because that's the top spot, the Pro-Am title. Well deserved, bro. You banked a super solid season. I thought you drove that McLaren beautifully all season. Punched the numbers, turned up, got some great results. I did have...
Yeah, definitely a highlight would be unbelievable pole at Zandvoort in the wet. It's not right.
We're going to put that in there, J-Man.
Just throw that in there.
No, it is in there. It's in my notes. It's in there. It's definitely got a big asterisk beside it with 1 pole, right?
Yeah.
7th position was the best finish. 4 top 10 finishes out of 10 rounds as well. So a very, very consistent season. So when we talk about the top 10 finishes, we talk about there's the better part of, like if we calculated them all, the pro class is the biggest field. Obviously we had some fallout there, but we still had a consistent 12 pros running at the back end of the season, right? And then so when you talk about a Pro-Am getting 4 top 10 finishes, consistently beating pro guys at times. Yeah. So it's a big accolade, mate. And super proud of you. I think it was a well-deserved season as far as your achievements in the season. I think it was clearly deserved. Obviously, Farmer challenged you there. He took a round away. He was coming back at you there at the back end for the Enduro title. Some guys fell away. Obviously, Vaughan came up short at a Rouge. Farmer did really, really well, but you did enough. And I think just a great drive. And I'm just happy that after a season like that, Stevo, you're going to get not the silverware, mate. You're going to get the goldware. So, yeah, really, really great season, mate. So congratulations. And like the guys before you, I am going to ask you, because I feel like that was the most, I don't know what to call it, erratic, extreme 3-day format we've ever seen. What was your thoughts on the weather, the format that just played out? Was it good? Was it bad?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't get the strategy right. Like I say, I jumped in for a smash and dash early to get out of traffic, and that sort of took away my option of coming in randomly for a tire. Well, at least coming in randomly for a tire. It cost me the tire, but I took a box off with the pit stop. But yeah, after that, it was just run it till the tank ran dry, and then change the tires. Unfortunately, I come out and I got 12 good minutes of dry conditions before I had to go back in and get wets. But and those 12 minutes, I told myself, you better do your best laps because you're coming back in very soon, sort of thing. And I did. And then, coming out on wets and say just trying to work out grip levels. And, and I said the first 2 times through on Rouge, and I think I had Rusty behind me, I had someone behind me, and I just didn't know how much grip. Like I say, it just didn't sound the track at all. Billy survived it, and then it was like right next lap, had to slow down and just try and find a line to stay on the track. And man, it was light on the steering going through there, like just feel no weight.
Yeah, it looked difficult.
But that was awesome season, great turnout, awesome guys to race around. Shout out to my teammate Kenny. It was only me and him tuning the cars. We didn't have a lot of people helping on that side of things. So he stepped up. Vaughan, really competitive, lots of pace at the beginning. Rusty, I'm pretty lucky to beat Rusty. He's pretty stellar.
He's just given you a shout out live in the chat, mate, and he's just said to you, I'll be coming for you next season. Needed to finish 5 places ahead to snatch the Enduro Championship. It wasn't going to happen tonight, mate, so well done. So that's straight from Rusty. So, it is well deserved. But carry on, as you were.
And obviously all the guys in the classes, we had Bob and Lachlan and Phil and B-Dog and those guys battling hard. And actually come down to the really close across the line for Lachlan and Bob. And I think you guys might have more information. I'm looking at the Endurance Championship for Bob and B-Dog, and there's 4 points in it. And Bob finished 2 positions in front of B-Dog. I feel like they're coming through tied, on the Endurance Championship. So well done to those guys. It gives them a little carrot and keeps them coming back each week and having someone to race. It's awesome. And obviously the top guys, JB, Mudgy, Shane, so many of them that just really stepped up, consistently banking points, even when it's not a great night. It's pretty awesome to see these guys hang in there on their worst nights and get points, and it all pays off in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think we've seen a lot of that this season, the likes of Mark Mudgway starting from pit lane and then going to the back of the field from an incident in another race. And there's been multiple times. Shane Forado's another one, fighting back from adversity. Probably, there's multiple guys throughout the field. I mean, you mentioned B-Dog. I mean, I'm so impressed with the likes of B-Dog and Bob and Phil at the moment. Just the way that the tenacity, they dig deep. They've got a title to fight for as well, and unfortunately we don't get to talk to B-Dog because he's checked out. But he clearly took that title for the AM, and like you said, the Enduro's up in the air. We'll have to look at the provisional results once they come out. But up and down the field, there's just been so much good racing this season, and to finish on a note like what we saw tonight, Stevo. Once you watch the stream and you see the side by side action and the intent. And it's good intent from the drivers from, I'm not going to say lap 1, but I'm going to say lap 2. I think, Davo, you'd probably agree with me that, we were calling it thinking, man, there's a 2-hour race going and these guys are at it, but at it cleanly, side by side, super amount of respect. The amount, you see it on screen when you watch it. I think the spirit of fair, clean racing at Asrnz alive and kicking at the moment. It's really good.
Absolutely.
I see that every week, actually, watching the stream. You guys, stunning job. You guys are a massive draw card to our community. What you guys provide, the amount it gives back to these guys. Whether they stay up tonight at 2:30 in the morning or whether they watch it tomorrow or the week. But it gets watched, and we love it, and we love you guys for it.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate it, mate. Like Dave said before, yeah, you guys are the stars. We just turn up and talk about what you're doing. So if you don't do it well, we probably don't. So it seems to be good every week. And it seems to be getting better every week. So I'm a little gutted we've got a week off because I'm ready to go.
Come on, guys. We're going to have a break.
Yes.
But,
thanks, boys.
Well done, Steve. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Steve.
You guys.
Awesome, mate.
Nice one. Steve Milling, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. And from me to you, from the J-Man to Davo, mate, I've loved every second that we've done this year. It's going to be hard turning up next Thursday and not calling something because I absolutely love watching these boys do what they do. But hey, look, we'll be busy as badgers behind the scenes.
Look, we will be. We will be. We absolutely will be, J-Man. And that, like you said, it's sad to see the end of it. But yeah, like a lot of these guys, super happy. Silverware. These guys have won stuff. It's awesome stuff. That wraps up the 2023 season 1. Only season 1, ladies and gentlemen. We've still got another one to come for the GT3 back pain series for Asrnz, brought to you by Outdoor Effects and others, J-Man. But we've got other stuff to come in the off season. So don't go away. Like the
get your notifications on.
The GT3s might go away for a little bit, but we have got stuff going on. We've got new content that we're going to be trying out where there might be streams of that. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Porsches, the new Valencia track. We've got the Race of Champions coming up, J-Man.
Yeah. Three cars at
seven. No, that's seven different cars, 7 different tracks.
Yeah, so that's gonna be great.
There's plenty going on over the next few weeks to watch, and I'm sure you'll see the notifications pop up, and we'll be back, J-Man.
100%.
It's been awesome. Look. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here again. J-Man, until next time.
Been a pleasure, Davo.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.